I am going live a little bit late. Cheryl is downstairs and she will be back. She helped me get a few things so that I would not totally panic. And yes, I am in the same clothes I was in last night because it's a brand new day, right? Oh, no, it's so funny. It goes from 0 to a bazillion people all at once. So I don't know who knows. Shh. Those of you that were hanging out with me last night, don't tell everyone I'm wearing the same clothes I wore last night. I've gotten up, I've made a newsletter, I've cleaned the kitchen. Cheryl cleaned a lot of the kitchen. I finished it up from last night. Your sink is over there. I said eventually you would be up, and yes, I am wearing the same clothes that I was wearing because, y'all, if you're at my house on New Year's Day, I used to have a New Year's Day party. Yeah. I thought briefly about having it, but I've been so stressed this week. And I woke up with this I'm waiting for Cheryl to come back on camera, so it looks like I'm talking to the flower. Hello, flower. Let me tell you how, we'll talk more. I've got some things together that we're going to be cooking. We're going to, and I think I'm just going to kind of go on the coarse cornmeal recipe on the back of this and veganize it. So I think that would probably be of some good. Ooh, plain yogurt or sour cream. I have some Okara cream cheese that I made. I bet that would be lovely. And we'll talk about that. Let me assure you too, I'm going to smell this when I open it because it is very out of date, but has not been opened. So as long as the volatile oils are fine, it's going to be fine. It's super coarse cornmeal. And we're going to make cornbread. We're going to make collards. I already have my black-eyed peas cooking in here. And actually, I haven't checked them or anything yet, so I've done nothing. We will do that. I'm going to show you a lid holder I have for this. And generally, just be my normal, let's do all the things self. Happy 2024.
Thank you. Thank you.
Happy New Year. Whole new year. And evidently I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, you woke up kind of excited today. It was kind of interesting.
I woke up and it was like a weight was lifted. I think it's because, so I'm in 2 new groups for my business this year. And one of them was talking about, I was doing the sale, which is still continuing. So if you didn't get the sale, it didn't end last night. It's probably not even going to end on the day I said it's going to end. It is going to end very soon, as in probably might get extended through the weekend, but that's about it. But I was feeling a lot of stress about that, and I still did it my way.
Yeah.
Which is how I always managed to do things.
She didn't do everything they told her to because
I'm contrary that way.
Well, and we just do things a little differently.
Well, I think the thing
than a lot of folks do
is most people don't have this awesome community,
right?
So they're doing things that are a little more cookie cutter, and I'm like, let's go for a walk. How about I actually talk about Kathy's Cooking Club? What a smart business move to make. So a lot of times I just go, oh, we're having a class, and I don't really talk about it.
Yeah, they've told you that, they come, they do when you sign up to work with coaches, they do an analysis and they base it on your previous videos and things like that. And everybody has always said to her, you never talk about the cooking club. Yeah.
And we'll talk about that a little. That's not the purpose. The purpose is it's whole new year. And I am just so excited. I woke up and I was like, my 5th quarter sale was done, even though the sale is still going on. But having the pressure of having this goal to meet and do all the things by a certain date, that was stressing me out, evidently. Mm-hmm. And we had a lovely fondue dinner. The fondue dinner was delicious. The only thing is I wish you would have talked more so I could have eaten more.
I'm sorry.
But we have a leftover fondue in the fridge that maybe we'll do a live about. I'm thinking that would be beautiful in the sliced bread, put in the panini press. Yeah.
It'd be good.
We could put some sauteed vegetables, maybe if we have some leftover collards.
Oh yeah.
A little black-eyed pea, cheesy panini. I don't know.
Cool. That could be like a New Year's Day panini kind of thing.
Tradition. It
Yeah.
probably, we'll see. Maybe it could be dinner because
Yeah.
we will eat again. All right. So everybody's saying Happy New Year's. Karen said it was really fun last night. I love this. Ryan says, wear what you want. You do you. Evidently, I am. I have my bedroom slippers on with my snowflake socks that match nothing else that I'm wearing. They're,
Oh yeah.
no, I do look like, once again, in case you missed, I don't know if you can see them or not. It's so far back. They're light blue snowflakes. So I look like a 3-year-old who dressed themselves, which basically I am some days. But honestly, I just wore this to take a walk and to do the live. So I was like, and I kind of feel like it's the last day I can wear this sweater.
Why?
Well, it says Christmas on it.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like if it just said, well, even eggnog, it needs, and reindeer. Okay, there's a lot of things. Cocoa, snowflakes, stockings. We wear the stockings. Presents.
I'm pushing it now.
All the presents, all the time. Okay. So, Raven, it's good to see you. I hope you're doing well, and I hope 2024 is uplifting and releasing for you in particular. And Hydron is here, Tia is here. So many people are here. I may not, and Dream My Sunshine, you haven't been here in a little while, so yay. Happy New Year to you. And Jane. I think I did Ash already. Did I miss anybody else? Plants Only Muncher says hello. Jessica, it's good to see you. I actually answered your question, I think, on the post you asked it on. Facebook user, unfortunately, if you're on Facebook, I can't see your name like you see there. So just put your name and then what you're saying, and then I can address you and say yay. Oh, CJ's here from Scotland. I got to see so many cute babies. CJ sent me her babies.
Oh, awesome.
So I just sent out an email with some more black-eyed pea recipes and correct links, I believe, in all of them. Sorry for the 2 emails yesterday. And I put out a call for everybody. Send me the word of the year. If you have a word of the year, send me pictures of your fur babies. They could be real babies. That's fine too. I am partial to fur babies. And, so you guys feel free to do the same. KathyHester@gmail.com. Support@Healthy Slow Cooking. If you just send them one place, we share them. Mm-hmm. Oh, look at you, Dee. You're fancy today. I made cornmeal from popcorn kernels and made a polenta log in the freezer. That's amazing. Oh, good morning, Diana. It's good to see you. Oh, Nancy in Durham with me. That's awesome. Hey, Debbie. Happy New Year to you as well. Last night was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. I was exhausted. We went 4.5 hours.
It was hard, yeah.
It was very interesting, but it was, even if you had been at my house, I would have been probably even more tired. Yeah. I probably would have been like about 2.5 hours. Okay, you guys got to go. But I enjoyed hanging out with you very, very much. Jill's in Southern California, sunny but cool. I don't even know what the temperature is. It's usually cooler in the house.
Yeah, it's pretty cold out. I just took Max out a little bit ago, and it definitely was kind of chilly. I can check and see what it is.
Oh, that's okay. Abby says, contrary is my middle name, but 2 words, one for my emotional state goal and one for performance. Centered and extra step. Follow through. Those are words that helped her last year. I like that. Centered, extra step, follow through. My word of the year is receive. And your word of the year is?
Release.
Release. We're an R-word household for 2024.
Yes, and I was downstairs releasing things.
She was downstairs cleaning. I'm going to be, after this, unless I get a wild hair.
It's 49.
It's 49 degrees here in Durham. I see that there's a wind. It looks like it's windy
actually
today.
the high today. That
Oh,
is
wow.
49. So.
It was fun last night, Kelly. Oh, Apple, I love this. It's toddler chic.
Toddler.
That delights me. Thank you, Apple. And thank you for all your help all the time, and especially last night. You're very, very special to us, and we appreciate you. Yes, those are the Dodge the Crazy Crowd collards.
Right.
They're beautiful. You did
They're
such a
huge.
good job. We're
I
not
got
going to
the
make
biggest ones I could find.
as we should. If it's by the piece and not by the pound, always find the biggest one. We can do this. I'm going to show you how to start cleaning them and washing them. And
Who? Me?
not them.
I thought I was just here to eat.
Yeah. No. I'm going to save one of these because we're going to make more later. And I don't want everyone to have to wait an hour while we clean all the collards. Cleaning the collards is the hardest part. And maybe what I'll do is I'll cut them up. Let's bring the thing over here, and then you can wash them because you would like that better. So colander is super helpful. And then let me see if I can get through a few more. Oh, you watch Christmas with the Campbells. I think it's hilarious.
Yes.
Again, disclaimer for those of you who are easily offended. There is cursing. There is some sexual humor in there that caught me off guard and makes me laugh so hard. But it may not for you. If you're easily offended, be warned. Hey, Justine. I know it's Happy New Year Day.
Yes.
Oh, Maribeth, I'm so glad that you're here.
Yep.
And thank you so much I'm glad you like my recipes. We're just going to be making some stuff up as one does when they're, oh, great. And Carlene says the 12 days of Christmas end on January 6th, Epiphany. I'm going to remember this. So that means I can wear plus the only real hoodie that I have that fits right now is my,
Vegan Christmas one.
yeah, but it says vegan for the season, doesn't it?
I think so.
So I might be able to get away with that, but it does have snowflakes and a little Santa hat.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Patsy. Welcome. Jackie's back. Jackie, it's so good to see you so many times. I have missed you. Liz says last night was like being at a party with old friends.
Oh, good.
And kind of we just relaxed and we were with you guys, and you guys are kind of some of the best people we know and have ever met. And
We tried to watch the first Doctor Who special after we got the kitchen partly cleaned up, and we couldn't even stay awake long enough to finish the whole thing, so we got about halfway through and then we got to go back and finish it.
we did make it till midnight, but we were
Yeah.
not here. We were
Yeah.
not here at all.
Yeah, like we heard all the fireworks start up really loud.
And Max was not happy.
Max was not happy. The cat ran and hid, and then that was kind of what jolted us into realizing, hey, it's midnight.
Does anybody else have trouble figuring out which way these things go? Let's see. Oh, found it. The twisty ties, they always lose some stuff. So sometimes I save these and I cut them into little twisty ties, and sometimes Cheryl makes me throw them away. So
Sometimes she saves too much stuff, which is why my word is release. Because she has the mentality of somebody who lived through the Great Depression.
I've been poor, y'all, you know? And sometimes if I'm really thinking about it, and actually that would even be too much. So I'm just going to stop. I'm going to let you read some of this stuff.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to take a drink. And then I thought too, I have a little non-alcoholic brute. Will you show overhead? From one, I saved the boxes because I am really somehow from the Great Depression, and it's a non-alcoholic champagne. Okay, and go ahead and go back to the front. Cheryl's learning. We're
I'm
doing
learning.
so.
I'm not as quick as she is on the clicky.
Well, that's just because I've been doing it a long time. So this is our same sparkly pitcher.
We got lots of folks saying Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And then we did get, we don't usually drink juice, but again, it's the holidays. We're living our best life. So we got this Evolution limited edition holiday fruit juice blend. It's got orange, pomegranate, apple, cherry puree, and lemon. So I thought we would make some mimosas. You like that word? I just made it up right on the
Mimosa.
spot.
I think I've heard that word actually said before. I don't think that's a new word.
Ooh.
Ooh, that smells good.
So we got it. We got this at Whole Foods for like half price a couple of nights ago. So I'm going to pour some of this in. I'm going to pour our can of non-alcoholic, and it's Surely. And this one is a little different. This is less than 0.5%. So some of you who are in AA or not drinking because of other issues may need to check to see if you can have this. You could also just use sparkling water. Why am I using this fancy can? Because it's on my bar cart. If it wasn't, I'd be like, make me some sparkling water so we can have mimosas. So
yeah. So we got lots of people saying Happy New Year. I'm throwing some comments up for the folks that have said Happy New Year so folks can see them. But Mary Beth does have a question. It's Mary Beth's first time here.
Hey, Mary Beth. And I remember I just said hello and all of those things.
Mary Beth would like to know, how long does Kathy's presentations usually last?
Too long.
It depends on the day. Last night we went 4.5 hours.
Which has never happened before. And
That's the longest we've ever went.
And I want to say it will never happen again,
But no,
but I don't think so.
it is only 30 minutes longer than some of her classes that she does
My
for Kathy's
classes are
cooking
usually
class.
2 to 3 hours
Yeah.
long. I'm gonna
They average 2.5 hours long for the classes.
I think I'm going to not
Usually get
use these, but
5
use
to 6
bigger.
recipes.
Well,
4 to 6
4
recipes.
are promised. But sometimes in those 4 recipes, there'll be sub-recipes, and sometimes I'm just like, I'm going to make something new and exciting.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring out our tiki glasses so
If
we
we
can...
go for a walk, it's usually like an hour and a half. On Tuesdays, when we do like our starch solution talk on Tuesdays, if it's just the two of us, it goes about 2 hours most of the time. And if Stacy's here, it goes about an hour to an hour and a half. When Kathy is talking with
glasses.
Lisa, it usually goes right at an hour to an hour and a half.
Sometimes our guests need to go.
Yeah, the guests don't always have the time to hang out.
We don't really either, but we like you guys a lot, so
Yeah.
we make exceptions because you're the best. Okay, so this is our holiday New Year's mimosa. Here's your orange one. Here's my blue one. Happy
Happy New Year.
2024.
I love these
Fingers
glasses.
crossed. Oh, that's delightful.
Yeah, it really does taste like a mimosa.
This, here, smell the can. I used this in something else. It really smells like champagne.
I'm surprised you like this. It's got notes of grapefruit in it. You don't usually like grapefruity things.
That is from the faux champagne.
Okay.
And in fact, it was kind of not my ultimate favorite. Okay, you go back to the comments. So what I'm going to do, you guys, so sometimes collards are, especially late season collards, with it getting warm so much, it builds up like this. Sometimes they're just in a bunch. Sometimes you'll get them and this part's cut off. So we're going to get rid of those. And I want to talk about one thing, and then I'll let you go. So this doesn't have a lot of big stem. These just don't have a lot of big stems. Sometimes the stems are bigger than this through the middle. I'll show you about cutting one out, but these are going to be fine. They're actually going to add some nice texture, and we're going to chiffonade ours a little bit.
What does chiffonade mean?
I'm going to show you. Here, let's do this real quick, and then I'll let Cheryl get back to the comments. But that way, I can be working on these. So again, I think this is fine. Some people even like the really big stems.
I think that would be too chewy.
It's fibrous. So what you can do is you can come in here and take your knife and you can run it through like that. Okay? That's all I'm talking about when we're kind of prepping them. So you'll end up with a lot of stems. You can either put these in the compost. I have a kale sauce. These would work okay for that too. So if you look up kale stem, if you look up stems on Healthy Slow Cooking, you'll get a couple of recipes. But what I'm really gonna do, so that's the I'm doing this for company. We can probably at least get this much off. See how it's like a happy little bloom? And I don't know, it could be that if we put this in water, it might grow. So maybe I'll try that just for fun. So I'll cut that out and see if anybody's done it. Dee probably has done it. Mm-hmm. Okay, now I will silently work. Oh, and chiffonade just means I'm gonna roll them up and I'm gonna cut them very thin. And that'll be how Cheryl can eat the stems.
So Jeannie is here with us. She's a new subscriber. Happy New Year to you. She is working her way to whole food plant-based. She made Hoppin' John in the Instant Pot this morning. Could not get collard greens in her town, so she subbed kale, which is what our plan was if I couldn't find collards.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. You can sub things in almost everything. Mm-hmm. And I always like to say, and I'm going to get the little pieces off for another thing, is if your grandma was like making New Year's Day dinner, or a great grandma or a great great grandma, they wouldn't go, oh shoot, we don't have collards, I guess we can't eat today. Or, oh, I only have 1 potato instead of 3 potatoes.
Yeah, something would get made.
Something would get made for sure.
See. Happy New Year's to you, Rocky.
Yay!
Tia says, I just got some organic whole kernel dried corn. I will have to grind some for cornbread. Cornbread sounds delicious. Yes, cornbread. Yum, yum, yum. And I don't eat cornbread very often, so I enjoy it when we have it.
Well, I'm just kind of lazy and don't make it.
And look, Diana says, you look comfy.
Thank you. I am comfy. Oh, look at all the babies. There's like a whole set of babies in there. We'll see if we use those.
Kathy says, just ask the husband and daughter what's for dinner. Want black-eyed peas, something. They want pizza for 3rd night in a row. He said the way I make it, it is a healthy, full meal. It was loaded. That
Excellent.
Sounds great.
No shame in that game.
No.
Okay, let's see just how. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to make a part 2 of this.
And Kelly says, you don't have to ask me twice to show off pics of my pets, but you might regret it. I have 3 dogs, 2 parakeets, and an African gray, and the African gray loves listening to you. I love African grays. I wanted an African gray so bad in my 20s, and I could never afford one. It's probably a good thing because we would still have it.
I don't dislike birds. I just don't understand them. So I need to be around more. So like I had a vet in New Orleans, and I had taken Irma in, and they had like some kind of parakeet type bird, and it just flew and it landed on me. I was like, hello, how are you? But because I'm so used to 4-leggeds, and I can read their expressions. Like I understand what cats are trying to say or dogs are trying to say. Goats are always saying, snuggle me harder. But I would love to get to know someone's bird.
Yeah, African grays are beautiful. And they have light gray wings and stuff. And then you usually have like a scarlet colored tail. They're just really pretty birds. And they have a really big vocabulary too. and so they can talk a lot.
Then that is why I can't have a bird, because then you would know I might sometimes have potty mouth.
I had a plum-headed parrot that had a potty mouth. So, yeah. He was with me for a long time. And then when I moved to Raleigh, a friend of mine that I was working with, son wanted a parrot really bad, and I was working all the time and really didn't have time to devote to him so much anymore. So my friend adopted him from us, and he is still going strong. He was only a little guy. He was about that big, had kind of a purple top to him, but he was cute. I liked him.
This is the chiffonade. So see, and you could cut it in other pieces, but this is really nice. It gives a really nice texture. And I'm throwing them into the colander for Cheryl to wash once I get... Uh-oh. Buddy.
Yep.
Why don't you take care of that?
I'll take care of that. I'm right. Shirley was saying Happy New Year and that she enjoyed last night. And thanks for making it less lonely.
Oh, good. I'm glad that you got to hang out with us. Nancy's word is more love.
Hey, buddy.
I like that. And I would like this, a lot of times, and while I'm getting to these bigger stems, I'm going to try and cut even thinner. But this will give some good texture to greens in the way that if you grew up eating greens in the South, they were cooked with pieces of pork. Of course, we're not doing that. You could put some potatoes or sweet potatoes, all kinds of things. If you wanted to. Grab that. I know how Cheryl is, so some of the stems that are a little bit fatter, I just kind of leave out. But so see how thin these, I'll show you from the top. So I'm cutting the stems really pretty thin so that while we're gonna cook them pretty well, we won't have to worry about it as much. See, Cheryl, don't you think? And sometimes it's really nice for a texture.
I like those. I like stuff shredded like that.
Yeah. And plus you get to say a fancy word, chiffonade.
So basically that just means shredded?
It means sliced very thin. So usually the first time people get exposed to that word is often talking about basil. And so you can chiffonade basil and put it on top of pasta. And it makes everything look fancy. It also makes things cook a little faster. In the South, collard greens are usually braised. That means the crap is cooked out of them, as many things are in the South. But so when you're chiffonading, do you want to turn it overhead?
Sure.
Because I don't think I showed this part. I'm sorry. So I'm just going to try and roll it up as tight as I can. And obviously down here, there's going to be some exceptions to our rule. But isn't there always exceptions to every rule? The tighter you roll it, the easier it is just to kind of get it all together. And then that's when I'm going to come in and just slice them. And you could do bigger, like you could do exactly the same thing and not chiffonade it in these very thin ribbons. And see how, since that part is out, it's a little bit harder, so I'm going to move it a little bit. You just go back where you need to be, a little piece of. So as it gets to the bottom, it's always bigger and looser and wants to cause some mischief. But we persevere, just like we did in 2023. You guys, we made it through 2023. We made it through the pandemic, which is awesome. That's not to say this year is perfect and magical and we won't have to go through anything. But we know, I'm just going to take those, put these over here. You can go back. It just means that we know we're strong. Where's my mouse? There we go. We know we're strong. We know we can handle it. We know we're awesome. You're awesome. Okay? If nobody else is telling you, we're here to tell you.
Nancy's word is more love.
Love that.
Dreamy Sunshine wants hers to be relaxed.
Oh, so do you mean relax or do you really mean self-care? And taking better care of yourself? That's what I want to know.
Let's see. Facebook user Shannon is watching from Facebook right now. What's the best platform to be viewing from? If you want to see all the comments from other people and things and the side conversations going on, YouTube would probably be the place that you would want to be watching from. Most of the folks are on YouTube right now.
Oh, look, it's almost like a cute little Brussels sprout.
Oh, it is.
This is the most cutest, babyest collards I've ever seen. I'm going to take
All
some.
right. Raven says, I am claiming this year as the year of balance.
Ooh, good one.
I am giving my needs the same priority as I give others this year instead of just pushing my stuff to the side. Goal, not resolution.
I am very much working on that too. Raven, I think you were there for part of the walk yesterday too, is that I feel like it's really important for all of us to like have these good boundaries. And that's kind of what I'm talking about, because sometimes some of us, and Raven, I know you're one of them, gives absolutely all of yourself.
Yep.
And you have to make sure that we put on our oxygen mask or we can't help anybody else. So we have to do it for them, take care of ourselves.
That's right.
If you can't, sometimes I struggle with just taking care of myself just to take care of myself. But if I take care of myself, it helps Cheryl. So if I'm struggling with self-care, I will change the lens and the perspective from which I view it to make it easier. Like when I had my first book, it was very hard for me to think about marketing. I really kind of thought marketers were the devil. I don't think that now, but I had to change my perspective. And when I was helping other people market their books, which is something I did for a few years, I would say, you wrote this book to reach someone. So it's your responsibility to attract those people and let them know it exists or what, right? Mm-hmm. So learning that helps me change my perspective on other things that are hard.
Yep. Dee says grow that bottom butt.
Well, Dee, I knew you had done it. So I sliced off the bottom and I put it over there. I'm going to put it in some water.
See, Apple is jealous of our gorgeous greens. She wishes she could find collards up here in Vancouver. Jackie says, thank you for all you do.
Aw, thank you, Jackie.
And Joanne is here.
Yay, Joanne. Happy New Year to you, too. How is
Yay.
the house? Tell us the lowdown. Do you have new friends in your neighborhood? I know you said you were pretty happy, but it was taking some getting used to, and there was a lot of work being done at the house.
Yeah. Melissa says hello. She joined our cooking club. Or your cooking club.
It's our cooking club. We come as a set.
Yeah. Betsy says Doctor Who is worth rewatching.
It looks really good, and it has David Tennant.
Yeah, we love David Tennant.
And we love him in everything. He's a delightful actor. Putting these over in the compost that Cheryl so kindly takes out for me.
Vigana said, Happy New Year, jumping from live to live. Tammy and Tom just finished theirs, so now I'm over here.
Oh, then we have magical good timing.
Yep.
I'm sure they had lovely things to say. We think they're delightful.
Yes.
And we got to hang out with them when we were in Sacramento.
We had a lovely meal with them and Chef AJ and a few other peoples.
So, would you mind washing some of those greens?
Just wash them,
Well, not like with soap and a towel, but just like rinse them really good and move them around to get any dirt.
Right.
They actually, if I look at my hands right now, they're so clean.
They look really clean to me.
They almost don't need anything. But the reason we rinse greens and any vegetables, sometimes it's because there might be some micro hijackers in there. And what I mean by that is there could be some little teeny tiny bugs that you can't see. And I believe we have had enough enough issues with food, and that can really just help make you safer. It's a food safety issue. And I know that when I did something for the food safety people, which I sent out for the creamy greens last time, I did not bring any measuring cups over. Like I'm a crazy person.
Say, don't use that one that's over here because I spill stuff from it every time I try to use it. It's just that one. I think it's got a deformed lip on it or something.
Which one?
That OXO one right there.
No, you fill it too full. We can talk more about that.
I fill the other one up that far and
I'm
it
just
doesn't
bringing
do
a
it.
bunch of these over so they'll be here. But for the food safety, they were talking about try each one and things like that. But I think it's going to be fine. Yeah, these collards are, the collards Cheryl's cleaning up right now are gorgeous. Where do you start with Doctor Who? I would start with the newer ones, which are still several years old. Do you know where you would watch the old ones, Cheryl?
Oh, Doctor Who?
Yeah. Betsy says, I'm restarting with the David Tennant special one. I think that moves to the new one. So the new ones, you've got to watch the original David Tennant ones. They're not from the 80s, but they're so good. Diana says, I'm like Kathy, I can't release some of the smallest things after it could be used for something. Yeah, and sometimes that's helpful and sometimes it's not. Mocktails, yeah. We're living our best holiday life. Oh, Apple, thank you. Yeah, with Christopher Eccleston, I think is the beginning of that series, right?
Yeah, that's the newer ones.
Tia says she has so much trouble getting rid of things too, especially if they can be used. I guess my word for the year needs to be release. Tia says it's awesome to see you here. And Joanne says the move has gone well, but we remodel, major remodels, but the place will turn out fantastic. I have absolutely no doubts that it's going to be the most amazing yet.
Where do you want these?
Just leave them there for right now.
Okay. I'm not sure where you would watch Doctor Who currently. I have them all on DVD.
Betty Ann, I'm not sure how many do I own? Measuring cups? I own a lot. I probably own 4 sets of measuring cups because in a class I can use them all. So sometimes I have industrial amounts of things, but it is because I use more than the average bear. So let's talk for just a second and then I'll let Cheryl get back to this. I'm going to try and make a version of this cornbread. And this is, no, ever since you changed my mouse setting. So there's one on the back of this. This is coarse grind cornmeal. And we're going to soak it in some stuff, but it's going to use, I'll tell you the recipe because I don't think you can see it. I also have not smelled this yet, so we could pivot. I have more cornmeal, so don't worry. That's a smaller grind. I recommend that most people use a smaller grind. This is almost a grind like grits.
Oh yeah, it does look like grits.
And so they're saying skillet cornbread, which we're not doing in a skillet. We're not going to do any oil. It says 2 cups coarse grind cornmeal, 1.5 cups buttermilk. Will you get me a small measuring cup that does 2 cups? Mm-hmm. And we'll make that first. Actually, yeah, I still need that small measuring cup, but I'm formulating what I'm going to do. It uses yogurt or sour cream. I am probably going to use Okara. 2 eggs, we're going to use flaxseed eggs. Melted butter, we're going to use applesauce. Sugar, we may or may not use. I'm thinking with the applesauce, there'll be some sweetness. Salt, baking soda, baking powder. So, first order of business. Let's see if this is still good. I suspect it is. So I'm going to smell it. Does it smell weird? That's fine. So What am I tasting for? Do you want to try? It
I just want to smell.
It doesn't smell bad. If something goes rancid, and I don't know why, but rancid is such a harsh word. Like I always think like it's supposed to be bugs and mold, but no, rancid just means the oils have gone off. And that's the oil that naturally occurs in vegetables, because even though most people watching eat a whole food plant-based no oil diet, it's a no added processed oil, right? We eat oatmeal. Oats have oil. And that's why oats can go bad. And so if you put it in your mouth, like literally it's not super pleasant because it's very coarse and I'm just chewing on coarse corn like I'm a horse. So it's not, but I'm checking, it's going to give you a little film on your mouth from the oil. And so what I'm doing is tasting that to see if it makes me go yuck. And it doesn't.
If you've ever opened a bag of like way beyond their prime potato chips or had some peanuts that you left way too long in the pantry, you know what that taste is. It's just this, like, you know it as soon as you taste it. And you're like, oh, those are bad.
And I'm trying to decide just how much do I want to futz with this recipe. My knee-jerk reaction is I want to do half of this and half flour. Or at least 3/4 this and 1/4 flour. I'm going to do it. Because you know what? If it doesn't turn out right, we can try again.
So Betty Ann, when she asked about how many do you own, she forgot the word appliances.
Oh, a lot. I just gave away, how many, like 7 appliances?
Yeah.
But I think right now, I think I have I think I have 4 Instant Pots. And part of me wants to get rid of more of them. Part of me needs them when I do an Instant Pot class.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I have 3 Ninja Creamies. And actually, let me...
if we work through our storage situation, hopefully all those appliances can have a place in a cabinet downstairs.
Yeah, but like, hand me the soy milk. So I'm putting 1 cup of this in. We're going to add a cup of gluten-free flour in a minute, so hopefully someone will remind me. It's saying 1.5 cups buttermilk. So I just made this soy milk. So I'm going to pour out 1.5 cups, or just slightly under 1.5 cups. And I'm going to put a teaspoon-ish size apple cider vinegar.
So TS has a question. Just joining in, never cooked the greens like that. Do you strip them from the stem and steam? Also, how to make them not bitter.
We're going to do some of that. We're going to cook them in a minute. I just want to get the cornbread in. So we're going to do that. You can strip them. So you might have missed in the very beginning. If your stems are very big throughout the entire thing, if you go back, I showed you how you just literally cut like this around the stem and pull the stem out.
Yeah.
Some people like the stems because they add some texture. I chiffonaded them, so you'll get a little, that's what it looks like.
If it helps, this is what it looks like after it's stripped.
If you strip one out. It's totally up to you and how you feel. Mm-hmm. We put apple cider vinegar into the soy milk to make it clabber or thicken up.
You don't want to be in here.
And it'll make chunks, almost like yogurt kind of chunks.
Put your fireplace.
That's not going to happen in store-bought milk, almond milk. It will happen in store-bought soy milk. And it's not necessary, but it does make it a little more sumptuous and delightful. So also we need to get a little bowl, and we're going to make our eggs. And do this.
Sorry, y'all, I'm turning the fireplace on for Max.
Water. And also at some point I'm going to show you what I do to the beans. They have been cooking. But what we're going to do, so to make them bitter, and here's a big, huge thing. Greens after a freeze are less bitter than greens before a freeze. So if a farmer harvested them after a freeze, they are going to be less bitter and more delightful. If you go to a farmer or farmer's market, they will say frost cured, been through a frost. The other thing is that's why we add vinegar. Vinegar also kind of helps with that and helps mask some of that. Putting a little bit of hot sauce in there can do it, but that's traditionally how it's done. For Cheryl, when she first started eating greens, I would make hers Asian style.
There you go.
Which is something I made up. And I used orange juice, lime juice, lemon juice, a little bit of citrus juice of any kind. Orange juice was my favorite because it added a tad of sweetness as well. And I put a little bit of soy sauce, a little bit of rice vinegar in there. And she really started liking them just fine. So it says 2 eggs, so I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed. Okay, and then I'm going to add, let's see, Alexa, how many cups is 6 tablespoons?
6 tablespoons is 0.375 cups.
0.375 cups. So that sounds like, do I have a third of a cup? A third of a cup plus. Plus a tiny bit. And then sometimes I make the flax eggs ahead of time and sometimes I don't, quite honestly. But it just seems good to do since I'm doing a few things right now. So you see how watery it is now? And we'll look, it will actually absorb and get kind of an eggy texture to it. It will help kind of hold everything together. You could use a chia egg, you could use whatever egg replacer you usually use. And I think you guys kind of see some of that already happening on here. That's what clabber means.
Sorry for all the noise, y'all.
Okay.
Max is being a little
baby.
Yeah.
A
little ridiculous.
All right. And so, okay, TS, and as we're making those, ask more questions too. Ooh, Apple knitted beautiful socks. I haven't seen them yet. Hey Mel, Happy New Year's. We're not exactly having a relaxing day at the moment, but I think
Max
it's going
is
to be
making
okay.
that hard.
I'm trying to know if I did the math wrong. I might usually use 1 tablespoon of flax with 2 teaspoons. If this looks like it doesn't firm up enough, I'll just throw another tablespoon. Worst case scenario, we have extra fiber. It's going to take a little while though. Okay, here, you read comments. So because the cornmeal is so coarse, and actually go up above, I want them to see just, so it's really coarse. Can you guys kind of see that? There you go. So this really is coarse like grits is coarse. And so that's why I want to soak it. You can change back.
Okie dokie. So lots of more Happy New Year's happening here.
I'm going to do another half cup in here. I can't stop
Happy
fussing with things.
2024 to everyone.
And they want us to soak, because it's coarse cornmeal, that's why they want us to soak it. If you're not using coarse cornmeal, you don't have to soak it.
I don't know what Betty Ann's asking. Where do you get surly?
Surly.
Do you, or surly? Maybe
Yeah, if you can ask
that again.
Oh no, Shirley.
Shirley.
It's this one, Shirley. I got it in my Raising the Bar box, but if you look up 0 alcohol champagne, you should find it online. There are a few 0 alcohol liquor stores that aren't really liquor stores, if that makes sense at all.
Dee says,
Oh, look at
Indy needs his collards. He's bobbing his head.
awesome.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. That probably would be like all the change I would need to like totally fall in love with birds.
They kind of dance like this.
Oh, that would make me
Like it.
happy. I do watch
Yeah.
them on TikTok. And it says let sit for 30 minutes, but we'll see.
And Jeannie says those are gorgeous greens.
Thank you. Cheryl got them at a crazy store last night, if you didn't hear that. She went out last night, and I thought New Year's Eve was not going to be like a big time for groceries.
Dee says she uses those stems to pickle, shave, etc., etc.
And those are great. And you can do so much stuff with stems. Ooh, can you show overhead as I'm mixing in this liquid? So see, what we're trying to do is just soften some of that up too. We could also add
It smells
frozen.
like cake batter.
I guess it does. That's interesting. It just has homemade soy milk that just has soybeans. It has apple cider vinegar and these extra coarse grits that I put 1.5 cups in.
Joanne says the weather is freezing. She's not used to it, and people around there are still wearing shorts, and she's layered up like crazy.
It's moving to Florida from Georgia could be a little bit of a shocker. Okay, so we'll set this aside for a while. You can go back to, they say 1/2 hour, but the way we go and as slow as we're moving.
Kathy
that's
got
right
a
about
question
right.
for you.
Okay.
Can you strip the leaves off the way you do with kale?
You can, absolutely. Oh, here, why don't you turn it back?
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Miss Micromanagey, give me the
Well,
mouse
no,
back.
it's just, we're just talking. They're looking at nothing.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm not trying to make you feel bad, but that's why I'm being micromanagey. I'm not trying to be overly micromanagey, but we got
Jeannie
it.
says thank you for the warm welcome.
Yay. Okay. Oh, Lydia says, I've never watched Doctor Who, but David Tennant is a great actor, and he's
Yeah.
my favorite doctor.
Liz Lena says, I toasted this morning with your maple pecan latte. Yum. Looking forward to
Ooh.
2024. And Dee says, grow those babies too.
Okay.
The bottom, the babies of this beautiful bunch.
Okay, here, let me, I'll get okay, this one's bigger. So this is one of my Halloween dishes with a little skull and roses. I
And
think that's
Indy's
appropriate.
watching now from his room, so he
Aw.
stays warm.
Hey, Indy. You are more than welcome here. So I sliced off the bottom I think this one's not going to stay there, so I think this one's going to have to come off. So maybe it'd have a chance, and I'll sit it in there, and we'll keep checking on it as the weeks go on. From the pandemic too, I just love throwing something in water and seeing things happen.
And Tia says, Kathy, thanks for all the great recipes. I made your 15-minute red beans and rice last night. I'm going to make the fondue and probably black-eyed peas today.
Oh,
You always
awesome.
give me great ideas.
Thank you. I'm glad. That's what I'm trying to do. While this is sitting and soaking, and again, the only reason this is sitting and soaking is because it's coarse. It won't hurt it if you do it with fine cornmeal, but this is kind of softening it up. Trying to see where I can put this because I'm going to need it again. I thought we might look at these black-eyed peas and see what needs to be done.
Apple likes it when birds mimic house sounds like the beep of the microwave, drip of the tap, gurgle of the coffee pot, etc. Jeannie had a cockatiel and taught him to say, I love you and rock and roll. Such a sweet bird.
Oh, I love that. Okay, I think we've got extra water in here.
Justine is very unfamiliar with collards. It's not a thing here in Massachusetts, to my knowledge.
Collards are generally grown in the South, but you could use turnip greens as well. So up north, people eat the turnips and throw away the greens. Used to be in the South, people would eat the greens and throw away the turnips. Let's go overhead for a second. And I wanted to show you two things. The nice people from the Lid Pocket sent me this, and I thought we would try it. I did put the link on it. You can put it over, like over this, or under that crock. But so see, watch. And now I don't.
Nope, you missed it.
Did I miss it?
Yep, missed it.
I should probably have
Missed
it
it.
closer to me.
There you go.
Ooh, it holds it very firmly.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you.
Probably if it
pocket.
was under that lip, it would probably
Here.
pull up easier because
Here.
the whole thing's going to pull up.
Okay, well here, don't touch it. Okay, ready?
Okay.
And it also goes under that.
Well, kind of sticks out funny then, but it's good.
Does it really matter?
As long as you can get the lid in,
There
right?
we go. Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so these may actually not be cooked all the way. Or not. That's very interesting. They cooked for 8 hours. So we're going to leave them on. I'm going to put them on. That's very interesting. I'm shocked that they're not cooked more, but let me show you how you can tell beans are cooked. For those of you who aren't in Kathy's cooking club yet, because you guys are probably like, I see this all the time. So I take 2 little spoons. You could take two like teaspoons, and you go and you twist, and see how it's still got hard stuff on it. You can taste it.
Won't make me sick.
1 bean won't make you sick.
Oh yeah, they're
They're
still a little crunchy.
They're crunchy. They're not ready at all.
But
Which
they're
is
good.
They are good, because I'm like, there's a lot of water in here, and that seems strange. So let me show you. So the recipes I sent out to you guys, and if you look up black eyed peas, so it's black eyed peas, water, bay leaves, a few Cajun spices, and a few things. So usually what I do is if there was extra water, I was coming to pull some out, put to the side, and then if they're almost done but didn't smush up, I go ahead and smash some with the bean masher. So we may or may not see that during this. We might be having collards and cornbread for breakfast and beans for tonight.
Sure.
And that would not be the end of the world. Another thing that I usually do before serving is I add in some nutritional yeast. It helps thicken the broth and gives it some good flavor. We're going to add about 1/4 cup. You don't have to, it's just something I like to do. And we could add a little liquid smoke. And I don't have the pure liquid smoke right now, I ran out. But I've got hickory, I've got mesquite, I've got applewood, so you can use whichever ones you want. We'll use a little applewood this time. Just get them nice and smoky. I'm just going to mix this up, and we're going to put it on high and let it cook some more. And actually, I think I like this under because it's true. You grab the lid and it stays. And then it can just be there, ready for me, instead of me making a mess over here. So, it's on high temp, hour. Just going to put it up really high and move it to the side. And if something happens, beans are the variable. These are brand new beans though. These are the 2024 beans. I have the 2023 beans that I didn't cook. So we can always make those in the Instant Pot if we want to as well. So what I was going to show you was mashing the beans to make them creamy, but now I'm showing you, oh look, my beans aren't ready, let's cook them longer.
Why is that there?
If you click the big picture, it'll go away.
Okay.
All right, let's swap places. You come over here for a minute.
Take my drink.
And you take this and you talk. And I
Okay.
have my mimosa. And I'm going to work on some of the cornbread still.
Liz said when she lived in San Diego, she had 12 birds and an outdoor aviary with dozens of canaries. I love birds. We couldn't part with. That was 19 years ago, and they all have passed, but I still miss
I'm
them.
sorry. Will you get to the overhead for me? I just wanted to show. See how much more thickened that's gotten? I always get worried. Here, look, and you can look too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's all.
Boston Vegan Bean says, I never changed my word. It has been believe for a long time. Believe in myself, believe in others, and believe in kindness.
Kindness is key.
Yes.
And I think that since the pandemic, it seems to be less kindness out in the world. So if you don't do anything else today, I would like you to be kind to yourself and kind to one other living being. Mm-hmm. It can be a dog. That's the easiest. Like if you're not feeling it, go be kind to an animal. If you're feeling it, go be kind to a cashier or someone who's putting up with the holy hell of the holidays and having to be exposed to that many people.
Yeah. Liz said they moved 6 that they couldn't part with to West Virginia, talking about the birds. Kelly says, I described her bird perfectly. She'll send a picture of her listening to us.
That'd be great.
And it was neat that I had birds too. Carbs Give Me Wings says, hi, Kathy and Cheryl. Hello to you too.
Yay. Ooh,
Kimmy is here.
her word for the year is breathe.
Yes.
I want to take time to reduce my anxiety and slow the chaos. And I
That's
can
nice.
so relate to that.
Yeah.
Because
You need to do that.
I do need to do that. And I think it's just...
Kathy gets some, I think it's an ADHD thing, but she gets super hyper focused on things.
And then I forget to drink water or
Eat.
do anything else. Sometimes it's good. That's how I can create some really wonderful things. So
Yeah.
it has a lot of benefits, but what I'm focusing on...
But sometimes she'll try to focus on more than one thing at a time that way, and when that happens, all craziness breaks out because she...
Eventually, my brain just can't hold it, and it panics, and it says, everything's going wrong! And all of the... I evidently have some really good survival instincts. They all kick in.
She also has a huge noise sensitivity. We
When
both
that
do,
happens, yeah.
but hers gets hypersensitive when she's going through that.
And she always opens those rattly packages from the mail. And it feels like she's stabbing.
I could be in another room and she'll be like, "Quit opening mail." Like,
Well, the thing is too is that
she has really good ears, so
I was a
I can't get away.
musician, so I mean, even because I'll have noise canceling headphones on with music really loud, and I can still hear things. And it's from being a musician and basically training my ears to hear more.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean I'm not getting older, and sometimes I don't hear things that great either.
Diane says, I can't even say chiffonade, however you spell it. I'm with you.
There's a few fancy words. That's what I feel like I pull that out of my back pocket. Chiffonade. And I do feel like I'm not dressed in toddler chic when I say that.
Linda says she made a big pot of green cabbage, Yukon Gold potatoes, carrots, and black-eyed peas with shallots and garlic and veggie broth yesterday, so I don't have to cook today. Happy New Year.
Ooh, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
I just knew I was going to want to hang out with you guys. So I'm putting in one of Cheryl's mini child's cups of applesauce, 3.9 ounces. And then we'll make up for things as we need to. I'm a haphazard baker. If you need to do things perfectly baking, follow someone else's recipe, probably.
Yep. Pretty Girl's mom says hello, all.
Hey. And I'm almost wondering, since I'm going to cook this in the oven, do we have some smaller potatoes that I might be able to bake really quick? Because that would be kind of lovely. Well, I've got some giant potatoes.
Boston Vegan Bean was just saying that up in the Northeast, she is able to find collard greens at Whole Foods and Wegmans.
Wegmans is really great about having all different kinds of foods places.
Ooh, and Abby says, I am getting a new Japanese chef knife this week.
Ooh, that sounds absolutely lovely.
You still got one over there you need to try, don't you?
No, I've tried it a couple times. I get. Where
You
did
just
all
keep
my
it in
little
its box so it's all fancy looking.
Do you see where it is? Do you see it
It's
somewhere?
on top of the... I have to move
Okay.
it every time I put water in the ice maker.
Okay, here. I actually really love this knife. Here you can
Let's
show it.
see.
I don't have a link to it right now, but you can get it on Amazon. They sent it to me. Does it have the name on it? Yeah,
Nakano.
Nakano. Nakano. Nakano.
Stainless steel.
It's made in Japan, and it is
very
lovely.
pretty.
And I pull it out when I'm doing sushi and some other. I have another really good knife too. Oop, other way. Here, I'll let you put that back. I'm going to stab this potato with a fork a bunch of times.
Let me put this back.
Because I'm thinking if we don't have those, it would be nice to have a potato. So I'm just going to put it in the Breville and let it bake for a whiles.
All right. Linda says she plant-based her vegan version of pole cannon as
Ooh.
soup. JM says, hey, Kathy and Cheryl, happy 2024 to you both and everyone in the chat. Melissa Spencer says her word is momentum.
Ooh, I like momentum. That's
Momentum is
another
good.
great word.
Yeah.
All these.
Abby
delightful-
also loves the balance word choice. Ryan says, my word for the year is unrigorous.
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 And you want unrigorous rather than relaxed? And I'm not trying to, I'm trying to understand. Unrigorous makes me think of being rigorous.
Well, rigorous could also be hard, challenging.
Challenging.
So maybe unchallenging. You'll have to give us a little more detail on that, Ryan.
This is going to need a little bit of sweet.
Trisha's word is renew, renewing health, joy, spirituality, relationships, and wealth.
Nice.
Mona is in the house. Hello, Mona. It's good to see you.
I'm going to put half a cup of gluten-free flour in here. Ooh, look at me. I put it.
Mary Beth says, your lazy Susan has drawers. I would love something like that. There's actually a company that we partnered with that does that.
There's
Is
a
it a
post
local-
on the blog. No, it's a nationwide.
It's a nationwide company.
Nation. We don't know how to talk.
Blah, 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 blah.
I'll see if I can find it in a little bit.
Yeah, but on the blog there's a post about redoing cabinets, and then it talks about the redo of the Lazy Susan, and in that corner over there, it's one of those corner cabinets where it goes way deep in the back and you can't ever get to anything.
So it goes like this. You pull this one out, and then
And then that one
pulls
slides
over.
forward so
It's
that you can
crazy.
get everything from that backside. It's actually really,
I didn't know things
really
like that
well done.
existed. I think only Joanne knows things like
yeah.
that exist.
And then in this front cabinet, we just had heavier drawers put in because somebody tends to pile them up to where they can't handle the weight. And these hold like 300 pounds each or something like that. Some
Yeah.
ridiculous amount of
It's
weight
awesome.
that they can hold. Like the ones that came with the house that are here in this cabinet over here where we keep like pots and pans, I've repaired those things so many times.
you
I've
have
got
to
them all.
repair them all the time.
They're all rigged up and they still like, we've got too much stuff in them, but
I'm going to put a little bit of salt
what
in
do you
here.
do when you got all the cooking stuff she has? It's kind of a challenge, right?
I ended up adding, so I did 1.5 cups of coarse cornmeal and 1 cup of the gluten-free flour. It might have been less
Wanna
of
show
wheat
everybody?
flour. Sure. I'm just looking at this texture-wise. And I'm just going to have to be really, since I didn't mix in the baking soda or baking powder yet, I'm doing it a little backwards as an experiment. Because once those are in, it's going to start to rise and needs to go in the oven. So I'm playing with texture right now. But I think definitely this is going to be a pretty good texture.
Looks like a good texture.
So, and we'll see. I might end up adding some more. The corn is still crunchy, so it could still be a little crunchy. They did say to do it for longer.
Shirley is asking, do we buy much organic produce? I think we do when the price point is right.
Not always. Go ahead and turn back over.
It also depends what it is.
We get a lot of stuff at the farmer's market. We get a lot of transitional or people who grow without pesticides, but we're not quite as concerned. I think sometimes there's nothing wrong with buying organic, and if you can, and it's easy to get where you are, like if you're in California for sure, or if you know an organic farmer near you. However, if you're getting outliers, sometimes the organic doesn't look good. And so at that point you want to get the freshest produce you can.
Yeah.
Unless you have a special issue. So
Yep.
So that's what I would say.
Bon Bon says hello. Yay, another live.
Yay.
Happy New Year to us both. Happy New Year to you, Bon Bon. Terry is new to our channel. Says Happy New Year to everyone. Happy New Year to you, Terry. Okay, Raven says the Max app has the new Doctor Who's up to this last season.
Ooh.
Good to know. Good to know.
I'm going to take half of this batter out and let it sit longer and soak things up. But that way I can make some.
Judith has never had collard greens.
Have you had any kind of greens? Would be my question. So the reason I put half of that out is this is an experiment, and I definitely haven't soaked this coarse cornmeal as long, and we'll see how it works out. It could be delightful, and then if we toast it, it could be a perfect crunchy thing. I'm also going to make these in this part in muffin tins. So these silicone muffin tins are great. Just making sure they're clean. I think that could use a little more clean.
Justine is asking how my back is today. Well, as you can see me wobbling all around over here, it's not 100%, but it is better than it was. It's a little uncomfortable when I'm standing in one spot for a long time.
You can sit down if you want to, honey.
But I'm going to try to stand, see if I can't stretch it out some.
Sometimes standing when my back hurts is better, but maybe that's just how from the way my back was injured. Do you know what I mean at that time?
Yeah.
And that might not be true for you. Okay. I don't know about you guys, but I always end up with a little something extra left in my muffin tins. And by that, I don't mean something delightful. So I use my little, I love this brush, maybe one of my favorite things. I put some of my favorite things in the comments. It's a little OXO brush. It comes in a set of 2. This thing will scrub everything off.
It does. It's
and
great.
I use it on the milk makers.
It's great.
It works great on Okara. It has another thing that's like, I'll bring this one over too. It has this little slivery thing. Can you guys kind of see that? And they even show it going in around the little drain thing to get dirt out of that. I don't know where Cheryl just went.
I'm coming to get a chair.
She's getting a chair, as you should. Make yourself comfortable. Here, I can move over some more too.
Just that'll. I don't want to make it so I can't finish my release of old clothes that's going on.
Getting the
down
guest
there.
room ready for being cleaned.
Yeah, so I
That's
can
what
work
you do.
down there again.
So that I don't have to, we can have some quiet time away from each other. When we both work upstairs, and we do it a lot and pretty well, but there is always a limit.
Lately, she's just been too sensitive for me, like breathing. she's
Well,
like,
no. Also, evidently, I sing when I'm
She
typing
does.
things up, and I have no idea.
so we both are a little bit, what is it, spicy divergent? Is that what you call it? What is
neurospicy.
And her
Which that just means we're ADHD, or our brains think a little differently, and we get a little overstimulated. Is how I put it. Apple may put it a different way.
yeah.
Ooh, Apple says the Doctor Who reboot is on Prime Canada.
Oh, it might be on Prime here too.
And Raven said the new specials should be on Disney Plus.
Yeah, the new specials are on Disney Plus, but all the old stuff is on HBO Max, is what she was
The
saying.
one we just got rid of.
Um,
I'm behind.
yeah. Oh, you're way behind. You missed the whole entire seasons of the Girl Doctor.
And I would like to see her. I don't know. I just had trouble when David Tennant was gone.
She didn't even like totally get in love with Matt Smith even.
I did at the end, but he was just an okay David Tennant substitute for me. Oh,
Yeah.
Can I do one thing? 'Cause,
Sure.
and this is because I had it adjusted from last night. It's way too bright.
I do feel better sitting on the stool, so thank you
Okay.
for kind of making me think about that, Justine, because I do want to be able to continue doing stuff today. But back to the spicy neuro stuff. So Kathy sings, like she unconsciously will start singing. Even if she's not, like if she has her headphones on and she's listening to music, sometimes she'll sing the music, but rarely. Rarely does she sing along with the music. She sings something totally different than whatever she's listening to.
I think it's for being a musician. I think I just go in my head and I'm like, she's like, I'm just trying to figure out what you're humming. And I'm
But
like,
see,
it's
my
probably
brain-
some etude I learned when I was 13 years old. I have no idea. I am going to put a little brown sugar and then I'm going to put some of the leavening agents in.
But my brain works better when there's silence, when I'm trying to focus on stuff. I can sometimes have classical music or instrumental music, long as it's classical stuff that
extra
my
sweet.
brain doesn't have to work too hard to figure out what it is or have too many questions about, or something that I've listened to a lot. I can it can be going on in the background and not bother me. But most of the time when I'm working on like her videos, editing, or I'm doing stuff for work, I want to be in quiet. And it'll be nice and quiet and I'll be working, and then all of a sudden I'll hear this like da, 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 da. And then she'll start talking to herself. She'll be talking to her emails, and then then all of a sudden you'll hear like, oh, that's not right. This blah, 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 blah. And then my brain immediately goes
and I have no
to try to figure
idea
out, because
that this
my brain is inherently nosy, and so my brain wants to immediately figure out what song is she singing or humming. I must know. And then when she's talking about stuff, my brain goes, she's talking to me. And so it gets rough sometimes. So we made the guest room into my office several years ago, and that was working really, really good. And then as I was cleaning some other areas, I kind of used that as a staging point, and then it kind of just stayed that way. And then going through all my clothes and all that stuff, like everything got piled out of the closet, because she's told you we're going through this every time we go somewhere. We got to try on new clothes. I think today I've decided that I'm going to pull out the clothes that I wear the most, and I'm just going to get rid of everything else. If it doesn't fit in a drawer, and if it doesn't fit in my closet comfortably where it can easily be moved side to side, then it's going to go. If it's something that I look at and I go, I haven't wore that in forever, not because it didn't fit me, but because I didn't like it, or I lost joy with it, however they say it,
Yeah.
it's going to go. It's going to go. And I'm sorry, that means some of the stuff that you've given me is going to go.
That's okay.
So, because I don't wear the same kinds of t-shirts and stuff she does. I'm keeping all the Gideon stuff because it's freaking
Did
amazing.
you see, like, I was like,
I am keeping the Gideon stuff.
if you're not keeping the Gideon stuff, I just want it back and then we'll make a quilt out
No,
of it
I'm keeping the Gideon stuff.
And that's Gideon's is in Orlando. That's where I wear a lot of their artwork, and in fact, there's a new T-shirt today that I want.
Well, you should get it.
I'm going to, if I don't forget again before it's sold out. It's a fairy.
Oh, you definitely should maybe take a second and go do that, so it doesn't get sold out.
We got to have some cornbread.
Get that in the oven and then do that, because I'm sure these people do not want you to miss out on a fairy T-shirt, because they're all going to want to see it, right? But anyhow, that's how crazy life in our house gets, like when working things go on, because it's really hard sometimes to have two people that usually, and I think we've talked about it like when we were on our trip, usually our brains work in a way that they work well together. They complement each other. When one is lacking, the other picks up, and our brains together make this one beautiful unit of brain. And when that sinking
today, y'all.
When that sinking gets off,
it's ugly.
Oh, it's ugly. It's such a challenge. It is such a challenge.
Well, and I think everybody reaches those kind of challenges with friendships and partnerships anyhow.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, and we've talked about this too, is I feel like doing the starch solution this year together, it's been great because we did the starch solution together, the end.
Yeah.
But also it's been really kind of good because we've just been communicating more as people than we did before, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm just going to scooch some of the extra in all these.
Yeah. A lot of conversation about Doctor Who. I love it. That is one of our fandoms that we really, really like in this household. Abby is saying that she had medium grind cornmeal, and I have ground it further in my Ninja grinder before using. Nice.
I'm living on the edge. We're going to see if this cracks a tooth or not. It shouldn't. I did not put the yogurt in that it called for, but I did put just a wee bit more soy milk.
And Betsy is saying we released appliances. Yes, we did.
We did. And I do. So we were talking about the appliances. I have 3 Ninja Creamies, which at this point I don't feel like I can get rid of any yet. I had 4, gave away what I had a duplicate of, because it seems like they keep going back and forth, and I'm not sure which one is going to get discontinued. I thought they were going to discontinue the original when they did the Breeze, but then I'm hearing some people are having issues with their Breeze. I am not, so let's see what happens. So that's why I'm not getting rid of one or the other.
Ash is saying one of the benefits of being vegan is that you can taste test anything raw.
Yes. I know, isn't it right?
It's awesome.
I'm going to look at 12
Abby said,
minutes.
yeah, I've explored cornbread recipes, and most are half cornmeal and half flour. Sometimes egg alternatives can make it gummy. Lemon juice or apple cider vinegar and the plant milk works.
Yeah, it does. And I'm just trying. I was like, let's just see what happens. This I'm going to leave in here for a little bit, and we'll deal with it later. I'll make some of it later. I wanted to go ahead and make sure I cook the greens. We've got a potato cooking.
Liz says her word of the year is organize.
Ooh.
Nice one. Hello, Anita.
Let me grab.
Anita from Sacramento is here.
Woohoo!
She's making her version of black-eyed peas and collard greens while watching us.
Let's do some hickory. I'm getting stuff over here for the collards.
And Justine is asking, does anyone know if the char on vegetables is bad for you the way it is on meat?
Different people say different things. I am not a doctor or a food scientist, so I don't really have anything to add. I think it's delicious, but you know, if you're having some issues that make you more susceptible to that, maybe ask your doctor.
Let's see. And Ryan was saying, I was wondering what the heart group that you were talking about on your walk with the other day.
Oh, and if you look on the description and go down, it's the free heartbeat group. And basically, if you're in my Facebook group, we have a lot of people there, but nobody gets to see anything because Facebook doesn't show it. On Heartbeat, you get to see it. In fact, a lot of times, once a week, it notifies you of all the things that have happened. And I have I think it's under the announcements, how to set it if you don't want to get those emails. But it gives me a way to really communicate with you and go, hey, there's a live getting ready to happen, or hey, here's a recipe I've done. I think we're going to utilize the group more. Facebook is making me a little more cranky.
Yeah.
Also, Facebook, just as a Facebook user, it's not as fun as it used to be.
Yeah.
So
You don't get to see everything anymore either.
that's been going on for a while, but you get to see almost none. So we have 10,000 people in there, and sometimes 100 people will see a post I do. And it's not that they went and clicked on it and looked at it, it's just had been shown it. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got the washed chiffonaded collard greens.
Some people are saying that their Alexas answered your question.
Yeah.
Jeannie got a Breville for their Christmas gift to them. They gave away their toaster, air fryer, and toaster oven to their daughter. Love it. I burned the first lavash pizza. Haha.
Things happen. I'm set these over here. You start by cooking down some of these because these will reduce in volume a lot. You could choose not to use any fresh garlic, which I wasn't going to, but I'm going to use some fresh garlic. I'm probably going to put about 2 teaspoons of minced fresh garlic in there. I think that's probably, I'll save it out, but it should be about right.
Yeah.
And then, don't I have water somewhere?
And Apple was saying to Justine that her understanding is that char is potential carcinogenic, or however that word's spelled. It's the burning of carbon.
Yeah.
And then Justine was like, oh dear, that doesn't sound good. I really like browning things up in the air fryer, especially potatoes. Should I rethink that practice? I think when you char
on the grill is supposed to be different than the Maillard effect in the air fryer, I believe. But it sounds like, Apple, do you have any insider feedback on that?
No, she said down here you're asking the wrong person.
Okay. You know more than I do.
She said I don't worry about those things.
And I think that's the thing. Can everything cause cancer? Yes. Do you need to worry about everything? That's when it kind of, I don't love it having it over here, but.
Do you want to move again?
No.
Okay.
I'm just mixing the garlic in, and I put a little bit of water in the pan. The greens are going to release some water, and these look pretty fresh.
TS is asking for the cornbread or baking. Does a flax egg also take the place of oil? My old recipe calls for eggs, oil, and butter.
Not really. You'll have to do some sort of substitution. Pumpkin would be a perfect substitution. What I did just now is I was like, ooh, maybe the applesauce will mean I don't have to put any sugar in it, but that didn't work for me. Pumpkin is a great oil replacer, and in fact, where were we where I got a whole bunch of pumpkin? We were at Sprouts.
Sprouts had it on
Sprouts
sale.
had organic cans of pumpkin on sale for 99 cents, and I got 12 of them.
Yeah.
And
We go every year at the end of the year to Sprouts so that she can stock up on pumpkin because they always reduce it ridiculously low. I mean, those are like $4 cans of pumpkin.
Yeah. And I've got some of this hickory smoked balsamic. It's a California balsamic. I may use a little bit of it. We're definitely going to use probably a little bit of onion powder. We can use a little bit of smoked paprika.
Why don't you just keep it there while you're cooking that so people can see how you do it?
And I'm going to use some of this liquid smoke. There is one that's pure liquid smoke. That's the best one and the cleanest one to get. These are what I have. And then I always use some apple cider vinegar, and that will help with the bitterness as well. And I'm going to put a little nooch in there just to give it a little bit of oomph. But I'm going to wait till we're closer to serving for that.
Katie Tucker is here and says, Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year to you, my friend.
And Ryan was asking, how long have you and I been vegan for?
I've been vegan since 2010 or 2011.
But prior to that, you were vegetarian
Since 1983.
Yeah, she's an old school vegetarian, gone vegan. first went vegan in 2019, and then I would slide back and forth between vegan and vegetarian, which was better than me going back to eating the meat that I was eating prior to 2019. But I was back and forth until actually this year, I think, was the year that it stuck, right? And I don't really go sliding back and forth that much now because of the McDougall plan. Has been very good for me, and I feel good doing it. So I am going to keep on this route. You cannot deny when you have physical results that you feel and see on a scale and see in your lab numbers and things like that. So sticking with the good way of eating. Judith has never had black-eyed peas either.
Ooh, now those you can get most places. I saw that Jeremy was saying mustard greens is what his parents did in the Midwest. Mustard greens, turnip greens, those are all fine. Collards are just, the traditional green of the South.
Yep. And Jeremy, it's good to see you.
Happy New
New Year. See ya on Thursday. Let's see. Katie says, I'm making my black-eyed peas alone with some kale and mushrooms and a dash of shredded carrots and some brown rice.
Yum.
I'm a fan of all greens. Mustard is my favorite. Collard and kale is second. I love the idea of some brown rice with this.
Well, we have some rice in the
We
fridge.
have some rice in the fridge we can use. Yeah.
But even, do you see why I didn't cut up both things of collards? Cause
Yeah,
like,
well, I always think that when you cook them down, they cook so small, but
they will.
that
cook
is a lot of
down
collards
lot,
for
but
the
it's
two
a
of us.
lot.
Yeah.
But that's great. We'll make another dish with collards this week.
Cool.
Collards are delicious and yummy.
All right.
A little smoked paprika on here. Just cause. I love smoky foods, and if you guys don't, leave out liquid smoke and things. For Southerners, what it replicates is the flavor of smoked ham hock. And I can tell you, I don't want any of the smoked ham hock, but I do love smoky flavors, and I can have them separated.
So Carbs Gives Me Wings says we don't have collard greens in Australia. At least I haven't found them. I'm using Asian greens with my black-eyed peas.
Oh, that would be delicious.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. If we were somewhere else, we would just see what greens there are. Because, again, just because we can get one thing here doesn't mean you should pay $50 for collard greens here. The reason it's so popular where I live is because they're inexpensive. And maybe another green. And so see how as we cook them down, we're able to get all of that in here. And it's not delicate like spinach where it's going to turn to mush. And the way we're cooking it is the easy way. Oh, the corn muffins are looking like they're doing something. I think I'm going to add another 4 minutes though. So
I'm trying to get through all the just talk between everybody and.
okay.
Okay, so Diana says, I don't have a pet bird, but I do have a woodpecker that keeps coming around the neighborhood and pecking on my house and the neighbor's house, reminding me of Woody Woodpecker. Those woodpeckers.
We have woodpeckers here.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. So we've got a spot above the door that we had to have fixed when we first moved in where a woodpecker had been pecking on the wood there.
I'm gonna put
I don't remember this conversation, but I think Kathy will. Abby says that's the one I got, only I think another model, the basic chef one from that company. You guys were talking about something earlier, and I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
Deborah says, I have to
that
keep.
vinegar smells good.
Deborah says, I have to keep my grains and flours in the freezer. Would I have to decrease the amount of liquid in a recipe?
No, okay, let's go to the front. So today is the exception rather than the rule. It didn't have to do with that it wasn't in the freezer. It had to do with the coarseness of the grind. So typically it's hard to find coarse ground cornmeal. It's very rustic. And I thought I was hearing something. That is why I'm increasing the amount of liquid. So it actually, the instructions said to let it soak in that clabbered soy milk for 30 to 45 minutes. And I kind of came soon. So like I could have put it in the Vitamix and ground it down finer, and I wouldn't have had to do that. So hopefully that makes sense.
Diana says, Kathy, we are sisters from another mister. I am like you about noises unless it's the noises I am making. I think
Yeah.
I have ADHD. I get busy and so sidetracked and forget I was doing something else.
We're both ADHD.
Yeah.
Cheryl is pretty traditional about it, and I've been kind of, I knew that
I'll randomly leave things just
So-
in weird places.
well, and it's like vacuuming. I'll say, oh, go vacuum this, because I hate vacuuming. I'm a hard no on vacuuming. It's ridiculous. But Cheryl will do it. But then wherever I've asked her to vacuum, the vacuum will live there until I move it. And I can wait 3 to 4 months, and it will stay there.
Or I'll start working on something. Like I have all these little projects that should only take 15 or 30 minutes. And so I'll always pick a couple a day that I want to work on, and I'll start on one, and then she'll distract me to something else, and so then there'll be just like a bunch of tools and parts laying on the floor somewhere or on a counter, usually someplace that she doesn't want them to be.
This counter is for food only. And she likes to come in and put her keys in her wallet. I'm like, nope. If you won't put it in your mouth or lick it, you can't put it on this counter.
Judith says her word is togetherness. That's
Ooh.
nice.
That is very nice.
JM says, I love mustard greens. I can eat them raw. I also forage for garlic mustard, which is extremely invasive here in the Midwest. It's actually pretty delicious. I don't know if I've ever seen garlic mustard, and I grew up in the Midwest.
Oh, interesting though.
I might have. Maybe. Did you?
Oh, no, it's a timer. Woo!
Oh.
I thought I blew a fuse.
Yeah, we saw the fuse getting ready to go, right? Because she
It
put
would not be the first time.
We can't put anything in the microwave while the Breville's going. Just can't.
And I was like, how could I have blown the fuse? Let's see. Now that still needs some more time.
Dr. K says, peace, joy, and love, and great health to you both from Oliver Twist, Milo, and I in Western North Carolina. I prepped
Yay.
lentil, garbanzo, vegetable Indian curry on Saturday, and you would love that, and prepared
Love
mixed
Indian curry.
grains to go with it. Oh, that sounds good.
I'm going to turn these down. Now, I'm going to talk. Can you show up the top just for a minute? One thing that can be great, because like we left the stems in and we just sliced them thinly. So those stems, like the actual leaf parts are ready. But if we let these kind of braise a little bit in here, that's going to make those stems really, really sumptuous and yummy. So I'm going to put a little more water in there. And then I think I'm going to maybe hit it with a little bit of smoked hickory balsamic. There's already some apple cider vinegar, but it could take more. There's just a tad of bitterness in these greens. We had a freeze earlier this year, so I'm going to put maybe another half teaspoon of the, I probably put 1 to 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar for this big head. Usually I put this hickory smoked balsamic on later, but I'm going to just kind of, it's very nice and thick. It's going to also add some sweetness. And it's California balsamic, but you could use any. I'm going to turn it down a little bit, and I might end up adding a little extra water. We could cover it. It's okay if the greens turn this darker color and they aren't bright. Then you're making southern greens. If they're bright, you're just making millennial greens. And both taste delightful.
Betty Ann says, this year for me, it's all about forgiveness to myself and others to find peace and calm. Cook more from scratch and enjoy life to the fullest. Life is definitely short.
Oh, that's really good. I
Yep.
appreciate that reminder.
Kitty Mama says, hello. We'll be making our cornbread soon. My daughter already made the black-eyed peas and collard greens, southern style, minus the smoked meats. She made mine with smoky bacon tempeh. Ooh,
Oh, yum. That sounds delightful.
that sounds really good.
And you could totally marinate some tempeh and some liquid smoked maple syrup, a little bit of soy sauce, fry it up, and then serve it on top of this, too.
Yeah. Sherry says, my word is the same as Cheryl's, release, and for the same reasons. Happy New Year. Yes, this is going to be a good release year, Sherry. We're going to do it.
It is.
Ellen says, good luck for the coming year to all, even if you don't eat black-eyed peas today.
Indeed.
And Jill would like to know, what do black-eyed peas taste like?
Okay, let's go back.
I hated them as a child.
I didn't like beans. So they're earthy, like really, really earthy. Black-eyed pea is a little bit like a green pea texture-wise, in that you go past that little skin that gives your teeth a little bit of drag, and then you get into that almost gritty.
I think it's more like a lima bean texture than a
Maybe
pea.
I hated lima beans growing
It's more
up
of a
too, and I hated
lima.
black-
It's more like
I like
a
them
lima
now.
bean
So, but like so you
texture.
get and then you get kind of, and it's not perfectly smooth, but the taste is earthy. They taste a lot like the color, like brown. They taste kind of brown,
Yeah.
neutral. They, I find a lot of beans to be quite neutral.
I feel like black-eyed peas are kind of like the tofu because like when you cook your black-eyed peas, they can really take on the flavors that you put in there with them.
Beans are really good about that. Our friend Faith hates black-eyed peas, but she also, she had some minor childhood trauma around it. She was made to eat them even though she hated them. But I have made her a black-eyed pea chocolate pie for New Year's when I used to do New Year's Day parties. I mean, it's been so long ago. The last one we had, though, was here. It was at this house.
Yeah. Judith says, I love spinach, baby kale, and dandelions.
Ooh, then you like some bitter goodness.
Yeah. All you need says, Happy New Year's from Crystal in Philly. My word is faith because that's what all my other words keep leading back to. Nice. Michelle says, wishing you both a very happy 2024 and a year filled with an abundance of health, happiness, and much love. All good things to you both. Thank you for sharing so much with us. Same dinner for us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I am putting some salt in. You could put salt substitute. That is always, always the case. If you didn't have a salt substitute that you wanted to put in, you could add a little more vinegar to get that pop. And First Seed Foods, they have whole food, plant-based, no oil food that we love. You guys have probably heard us talk about them before. But they also have a no salt collection as well. And I do have that link down in the bottom. There were a couple things that were my favorites from 2023 that I sent out in an email and talked about in here. One was First Seed Foods. And there's a link where you can get, if you use Kathy Hester, there's the code you can copy. You'll get $10 off your very first order. So those of you who've already ordered, we're ordering our fourth or fifth order.
I
We've
think.
been doing it every month, and it's been great because it's something compliant.
Fourth.
When we don't want to do anything else, we steam up some rice, put it in there, and then we can eat on it for even a couple of days. We've done that if we want to just gobble it out.
Yeah.
And just like, check it out.
Betty Ann says she had collard greens from a can and did not like them.
No one likes collard greens from a can. So it's a very different experience. My first experience with spinach from a can. And so don't go just by that. And
Apple says, I reckon canned greens of any sort would not be enjoyable.
yeah, no, because it's going to be way overcooked just from the canning process.
Kimmy would like a video of our favorite things.
Oh, I don't. Well, I can tell you some of these. These are a little. Oh, I want some. I'm going to put a little nutritional yeast. It's not heavy vinegar. It's pretty heavy smoke. Medium flavors. I feel like I probably will put a little more vinegar, either some of the balsamic or some apple cider. It's not bitter from the apple cider. If you don't use nutritional yeast, you don't have to do this. I find it just adds this nice mid-tone as we're balancing everything out. And that's kind of one of my things.
So, I don't know if I'm going to read exactly what is being asked, but I think I do. Betty Ann says, I know you're live. How do you find the product in your show?
Okay, you're seeing me. Look down below. You're on YouTube. There's a blah, blah, blah more. And I think it says a description. It might say description there. That's how you can see it. And that's where I put show notes and things. So the favorite things, I put First Seed Foods, which has been a lifesaver for us. And she's a small business, and she's being incredibly inclusive to the whole food plant-based community. Even people who are SOS can eat some of this food, which is just fantabulous. The other thing, I don't have it up here right now, is my 360 slow cooker. I'm going to mention it, and then you can just toss it right out. It is incredibly expensive. I found a code for like 26% off, and I put that down in there. But I love it. If you're looking for really good pans that are going to outlast you, even if you're 10, they're good. They remind me of Scanpans, and they have a slow cooker bottom. This is not that slow cooker. It's just stainless steel. Also, it's hard to find a slow cooker that's stainless steel.
Yeah.
So for those of you that are looking for those things, if you're looking for a cheap slow cooker, just don't even go there. It's never going to be on sale like that. Go to the thrift store. Go to Amazon Warehouse. I also talked about the branch cleaning products, and there's a $10. You get $10 off, and I get $10 off my next order. I'm not even a real affiliate with them. But we've used it ever since we use it in the laundry.
Yep.
On the counters. We use it for everything. Bathroom cleaner. We got the whole little set.
Yeah.
And
It's kind of replaced
non-toxic,
everything.
like really non-toxic. And so I like that a lot. And there was something else I put up there, and now I can't remember what it was.
Janice says Alexa failed to wake her up.
Oh no. You can always watch the replay. And if these are looking a little more like southern greens, if you want to show the overhead. And what I mean by that is they're getting darker.
Jackie also her brain needs quiet when working, otherwise she'll get distracted. Diana loves our chemistry, loves how real we are.
Ooh, these look about right.
Lydia says, I always have to listen to something. What
See,
kind of music do you like listening to, Kathy?
I listen to RuPaul, the RuPaul's Drag Race, because they're funny. I listen to Professor Elemental.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to the Wildberry, who are they?
Oh, Wild something from Australia?
Here, let me look at my Spotify.
I think they're from Australia. They do the themes.
New Zealand, aren't
New
they?
Zealand, or they do the theme
that's not
song
what I
for a
meant to
show
do.
that we like on Acorn.
Okay, I'm going to open up Spotify, and hopefully it's not going to just play, and I'll get banned. Don't do it. Don't do it. Show me a stop. Okay, good. I'm looking over here. The Indigo Girls, Imogen Heap. I like her. Tori Amos, because I'm that age. We like to listen to the Trader Sam's playlist, so that's the Tiki Bar
It's
and
at Disney.
Disney. We do listen to Disney Halloween and Halloween music of all kinds. East Pointers. The East Pointers I really like a lot.
Is that the guy?
That's the group.
Okay, so we watched this show on Acorn that we like called
Wintergreen is the
theme
theme
song. Is the theme song for the show that we watch on Acorn called Under the Vines.
And, yeah.
And it's a cute show.
It's adorable.
It's got 2 or 3 seasons, I think, and they're just like 6-episode seasons or something like that. But it takes an episode or 2 to get you sucked in. But once you get to know all the characters, you start, like most Acorn shows or UK shows in general. You just immediately, the character development is so well done that you just immediately start to like want more.
And so here's the thing: I don't give them to her to taste until they start tasting about right. You could put some tomatoes in here; that would also kind of sweeten it up and add some umami. But I think this is really close. I think we could use maybe a little more vinegar.
I'd go with some
Are
more
you
vinegar.
feeling like your vinegar is capped?
Or some more balsamic, maybe.
More balsamic is what
Yeah.
you like. And you could even just serve it with balsamic on the side. And you don't have to use the hickory one. You could use a regular one.
Justine says, Cheryl, I think you and I share the same brain and the same taste buds. Every time you describe things about yourself, I think that's me.
You know, the thing is true is that we're all more alike than we are different in the very end. And if we could remember that just a wee bit more, I think we would all be a little happier.
Trish says, I made a batch of Ann Esselstyn's savory oats for my breakfast for the rest of the week. Got a pot of veg soup with lots of beans and greens, and on now may try masa cornbread.
Awesome. It's a great way to start the new year, like eating something delightful, I think. And see, I can hear the ice maker. I keep thinking something's binging or whatever. Cheryl can't hear it at all. I hear the little whines of the...
Abby says, Cheryl, have you ever watched Dana K. White on decluttering? She talks about the container closet and just keep what you love. No, but I might do that. I'm like, Kathy calls them doom boxes.
I found that somewhere else. Ooh.
But what she doesn't understand is, to her, I'm just putting things in boxes randomly, and so now we have all these boxes.
I think you can
But
hold that.
what's really happening is I know each of those boxes is an organized box of something organized in a way that my brain understands what's in them. She can't understand the way my brain organizes those boxes, so to her, they're just boxes of junk that I need to go through.
Well, no, but
To
the
me,
thing
they're
is,
already boxes that have been gone through.
But you do that with my stuff, and that's when the problem
Well,
happens.
I'm just
'cause then
trying
I
to
don't
put it in one location for you.
But then it's not organized in a way my brain can find anything. And so that makes it a little bit harder. So especially with these silicone things, it's nice if you have a little like cooling rack. Then we can put them on here and they won't get soggy. What do you think for the cornbread?
That's good. Debbie says, I think that's a good idea on the clothes. Cheryl, we wear 20% of our clothes 80% of the time. You know what? Since probably the 1st of November, I've wore the same clothes that are on top of the dryer, and I just wash them over and over again. I haven't even taken anything out of my closet, really.
It's better to let these get a little bit cooler. I'm pushing it because I haven't fed Cheryl breakfast yet, and it's 3 o'clock.
Oh, and here Ryan is saying, unrigorous, doing everything perfectly, like not being so obsessed with having the perfect diet or being exact with working out the same amount every day, being okay with trying my best. Yes.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, that is awesome.
Thank you. Thank you for explaining it too.
And that's kind of how we stay on track with the McDougall stuff, because we give ourselves that grace period,
That 90 to 95%.
that 90 to 95% where we don't have to be perfect.
And it also means, though, because I think one thing that people did talk about who was in our cohort was they felt like they can't be social, they can't go out anywhere else. And when we got out of it, and you can do this when you need it too, because there are free groups around, but it's like we had like 3 or 4 meetings a week that were just McDougall centered. I was trying to do this other stuff. We felt like we weren't seeing friends. And that's when we really were like, let's open this up a little bit. So typically we go out once a week. We've gone crazy in December. We have gone out too much, but our weight hasn't fluctuated that much at all. We've walked more.
You have.
Yeah, I've walked a lot more, and we're just kind of feeling it. So that's why in Kathy's Cooking Club, at the end of this month, we're going to do Mary's Mini too, and see how that works out.
Are you to a place that you can stop for a minute?
Uh-huh.
Everybody's saying go grab that ferry.
Oh, are they?
Yes, go grab that ferry.
Okay.
Everybody will wait. I can go
Okay.
through comments while you go grab your ferry. I don't want you to miss out on that because
I just wanna
it'll go
check.
fast.
Let me check this giant potato too.
You're not grabbing your ferry.
I'm about to. I just want to make sure this is, yeah, it still needs more. It needs a lot more. It's because I just put a giant sweet potato in there and I thought it was going to cook like in no time.
One Auntie Ventum is here. Hello. Happy New Year, Kathy and Cheryl, making black-eyed peas as a body double with y'all today. I have it
Yay!
with cabbage and am also making rice and sweet potatoes.
And why are we not at all of their houses?
And Apple says we should look into Mighty Networks. We might like it. It's an alternative to Facebook.
Heartbeat is like Mighty Networks.
You have your mic on still?
Yeah.
Okay, so take
Heartbeat is like Mighty Networks, only I got it where I could pay for it once instead of monthly, which is why I was hoping we could kind of all go over there. It does not have a phone app, I don't think yet, but I think it's in the works. I'll double check. But I definitely, and with all of us over there too, there's some matching capabilities where we could have partners, you know, like accountability partners and things like that if you wanted to.
Yeah, we're thinking of doing a lot more kind of things this year that we can interact more with you guys in a group setting beyond just being on YouTube all the time. Like maybe we can utilize some of the stuff in Heartbeat and have some more conversations there and things like that. Let's see. Betsy wants to know what's the brand of cooktop you're using for the collard greens. We are using a Duck's Top. I believe it is a Canadian brand, judging by the maple leaf.
It is one of the most recommended brands on as far as induction cooktops go.
It's spelled D-U-X-T-O-P. It says Induction Cooktop Expert.
And I got it.
Got it on Amazon, didn't you?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did.
The one we had before I had gotten for her from JCPenney's.
And it lasted till it didn't.
It
lasted a long time.
It lasted a
actually.
long time, but it started making this really god-awful noise that was like, is this thing going to blow up? So we had to spring for something different. Alicia Lee is here. She thought she was coming in on something that already ended. No, Alicia, we are still going. Betty Ann wants to know, when you use pumpkin, do you taste the pumpkin?
Not really, because you're not using a whole lot of it. Perhaps if you hated pumpkin, you might notice it, but I don't. Pumpkin's a pretty neutral flavor anyhow. Butternut squash has an acorn, they have more flavor to them. But I've used pumpkin in all kinds of sweet and savory muffins.
And also, Abby is asking, would the aquafaba for egg work in the cornbread?
It should. The reason I didn't use it in particular, and I used the full amount of flaxseed to water, which is a 1-to-3 ratio. Usually I use a 1-to-2 ratio, make a thicker egg, is because of that extra coarse cornmeal. I knew it was going to require more liquid to rehydrate it, so it wasn't unpleasant. But I really like that coarseness once it is rehydrated. So I was scared if I used just if I could have used aquafaba and I could have used extra, but I didn't. How's that for vague?
Ash is saying the only creamy available where I live is the Breeze. I hear people having issues with theirs and the blade comes off. Ninja has removed the Breeze from their website too, so not a good sign.
Let me look, because they had put it back at one point. So that's why I'm not in the loop. Like, they don't tell me anything. Let's see. Yep, it's gone still. So now what I did find, and our friend Jeremy that you guys have been seeing in the chat, he lives in our area and has been looking for a Ninja Creamy. We were at Sam's Club the other night for Cheryl to pick up something, and I ran in. They had a Breeze on display, but underneath it were the originals. And so usually if you get it at Sam's Club or Costco, you can get 3 pints with it instead of the normal 1 or 2, which is really kind of awesome. And it was $1.19, I think. And so I would look there. Sam's Club didn't have them the last time we were there. Like, I think like in the summer or early fall, they didn't have any at all. And then magically 10 of them showed up.
We were just there probably like earlier in November and they didn't have any.
Yeah, so
Remember, I went looking for grapes over there.
And usually what I say is, what Ninja Creamy should you get? The one that you find that you can buy.
Exactly.
So,
today is Kitty Mommy's 30th veganversary. It was a New Year's resolution in 1994. Dabbled in vegetarianism and veganism prior.
I love that.
D is vegetarian to vegan in 2013. Whole food plant-based SOS. Last almost 5 years in February. Apple is vegetarian since birth.
That's amazing.
1967. Yay, we're the same age. Vegan
Y'all
since...
babies.
Yeah, we're babies.
I'm 1965.
Vegan since 1994 and whole food plant-based sofas free since 2018.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Apple loves all this vegan pride. Proclaim it loud.
Indeed. You know, I mean, it's good for you. It's good for the animals. It's good for the planet. Whatever reason you decided to do it is a good one. You don't even have to have all the reasons. If you do it just because it's better for the environment, we're equally as happy and excited as if you did it for the animals. But don't forget, you're an animal too, so you should take care of yourself.
Justine says those greens look beautiful. It's 34 degrees in Indiana, Pennsylvania. Indiana, Pennsylvania.
Like, really? Indiana, Pennsylvania?
That's what it says.
Oh,
Indiana,
interesting.
Pennsylvania.
Okay, I bought my shirt, and now I'm looking to see if there's any other time-sensitive things. You're witnessing my ADHD as it happens. But did we show everybody your Krampus mug? Go show people your Gideon's Krampus mug. It's in the cabinet.
I thought we showed people. Maybe we didn't. My cookie Krampus.
Because I was wearing my Gideon's Santa hat gargoyle shirt, and I'm waiting on the Krampus shirt. We have a Santa Krampus shirt coming too.
This was my Christmas present. It is my Cookie Von Krampus mug, and it has a little straw hole that's sealed. So when you punch the straw in, your ice and stuff still stays nice and cool.
It's a
nice
really
stainless steel cup.
Good mug.
Nice,
I've been
nice
very,
thick
very
lid.
happy.
And it keeps ice a long time.
Oh, I see Mona's here. I'm peeking so I can see, because I'm behind where the monitor is, so I can't see what Cheryl's doing.
All right.
It's
I'm
so
doing your
bright in
bidding whenever you tell me to go do something.
I appreciate that. That counts for a lot.
Let's see. CJ says, I had black eyed peas with petit pois, mango, and cavolo nero.
Ooh, I don't know.
I
what
think
that-
you call that lacinato kale.
Oh, dinosaur kale.
Dinosaur kale. Okay.
Yeah, dinosaur kale is what most people know.
All right. And hey, CJ, it's so good to see you today. And let's see. Justine says, Kathy Hester, will we know in advance when a Kathy's Cooking Club class is coming up? How will we get notified?
You will get notified by mail, by email. So when you get into the cooking club, you get added to that email address. I need to wash my hands.
And we should have a discussion about spam.
Okay, I'll let you do that in just a second. So I have not put out Kathy's Cooking Club email for January yet. Most of the time, in the first week of the month is when you'll hear about it. We're not going to have a class this week. It's probably going to be next week because I just need a little downtime. I know you're like, you just had a vacation. No, I did not. I just worked harder than I had
She
all
did not
year.
take a vacation. Let me just make that very clear. She said she was going to take a vacation. She did not take a vacation.
Well, we went lunch and then we had dinner out once. That was my whole vacation.
Her vacation was we went to see the lights at Cocoa Booth Amphitheater, and we went to
Chinese
Jill Dalton's
lantern.
house and walked around and saw lights there one evening.
So
That was our vacation.
and it's not that I'm not going to be emailing you or doing lives and stuff like that, so don't worry. But we're going to do kind of a basics class probably next week at some point. You'll get an email. And then the last 10 days of the month, we're going to do a Mary's Mini. Usually I tell you 1 month in advance. Sometimes I get fancy and tell you 3 months in advance. This is probably going to be a 1 month in advance kind of month.
Yeah.
There are some things. So you can unsubscribe from my mailing list. And if you do, you won't get notified of those anymore. If you go down to the email, there's like manage your subscription. It says manage. You click on that. You can click the box that says Kathy's Cooking Club emails only. Mm-hmm. You'll get excluded from my normal emails. Like the past 2 or 3 weeks, I've emailed every day. And I'll do that as long as I can. And then it'll be about once a week.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you mark something spam, we have no control over ever letting that get to you again because there's laws and there's things in place.
So my email provider and your email provider, when you mark it spam, go, okay, they can't have this anymore. Mm-hmm. And so we just ran across someone actually, even if you accidentally mark it as spam, there's nothing I can do, but what we can do is you can give us another email address or make a Gmail account, and we can get that. So you can email support@healthyslowcooking.com and Cheryl can help you with that.
Yeah, so we've had quite a few regulars that have just had oopsie moments where something got marked as spam, like probably cleaning out a spam mailbox and just kind of select it all and didn't pay attention kind of thing. And then there's nothing that we can do to get those emails back. And I have looked on my email program and I can't see a way to unspam something on my end. And I don't know if there's even a way to do that. So best thing is try not to accidentally click things spam.
When it's it's an accident.
Right.
And we understand, but just know that if there was something we could do about it, we totally would help you with it.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's just not.
And so if that's happened to you and you need us to kind of help you maybe walk through setting up an additional email address, like a second Gmail address or something like that, message me at support@healthyslowcooking.com and I can try to help you do what you need to do to get those going again.
Yeah.
And that's my rant about that. And it's not really a rant. It's just I feel so bad because then they contact me and they're so frustrated and they don't understand why they're not getting their mail and stuff. And then when we check in the program, it's like, oh no.
Yeah, and the reason it is spam has a lot of laws about it.
Yeah.
So, and I've even tried deleting people from the email list completely, letting you voluntarily sign up through a form. It still blocked it.
Yeah.
And yeah, there have been a lot of people. If it's happened to you, you're not the only one. And
Yeah, it's happened to quite a few people. So,
you know, we'll make it all work out.
Yeah. Marie says, hi everyone, bought a bag of black-eyed peas at the grocery outlet. Looking forward to making them next week. I have never had them.
Ooh, it'll be interesting. I'd love to hear what your opinion. What did I do with my brown
And Marie
sugar?
also asks, at Kathy Hester, I downloaded Dr. McGregor's app so I can track his daily dozen. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think all the doctors are wonderful. We follow Dr. McDougall's starch solution.
Yeah.
Does that mean I think Dr. Greger is bad? Of course not. I know that Chef Julia lost her weight through doing Dr. Greger's and the app. And I think it's great. I think, so that's my stance. And I will tell you this is the caveat. If you are a perfectionist and you get frustrated and want to quit things when you can't keep up, or notice that happening as you're trying to do 12 things every day, because you have to have X amount of greens, X amount of this, X amount of that. If that keeps you on track, then that is the perfect thing for you and you should use it. If it makes you frustrated or you feel less than, and it doesn't make you feel like, oh, I got to get back on track, it makes you just start feeling bad, then maybe take a little break from it and then try it again when you feel a little better about things. We do not use it because I am a perfectionist and that would be hard for me. I'm not saying I won't ever, but I do think with all the doctors, and I've said this many times, if you're a heart patient, Dr. Esselstyn is your guy, right? He knows all the heart things. Dr. McDougall knows a lot of the research and a lot of things like that. I find the starch solution the absolute easiest diet. So I feel like that's why I like it. I'm able to still create all the things I want to create. Dr. Greger has wonderful things. If you look at, he has another food system that he uses that's quite high fat. So if you're looking to release weight and you're looking at some of those recipes for that or for forks over knives, just notice how you do with your goals and nuts and seeds. Some people are going to do fantabulous. We still have quite a bit of weight to release. Like Cheryl has, in 2023, Cheryl lost over 40 pounds and I lost just over 30 pounds. So we're not done.
And since 2018, I have lost around 75 pounds.
Which is amazing.
Almost 80.
You've done such a good
77,
job.
something like that.
Let me use this one.
It's been a long time coming, and I tried a whole bunch of different things, and I was plateaued for a long time, and then the McDougall stuff just like kicked it back in, and been very happy with that.
It's a matter of finding what works for you. I think the thing is all the doctors are great.
Yeah. We're just trying to, we're trying not to mix and match. We're trying to just stick to McDougall.
And again, not because we think anything's wrong.
It's just that we found, with me jumping around doing different things, it became very clear that you can't mix and match and choose the parts that you like from each different thing. You need to just stick with the one and see where that gets you before you then you get to the next one. That seems to be working well for me. So,
well, I think
mileage may vary.
I think it is easier. I think there is a point in your life where you can just jump around and do whatever. But I think oftentimes when we're starting to do things like this, see if I can get a little bit better on this, having one set of rules, because here's the thing, Dr. McDougall's going to say don't eat nuts if you're trying to lose weight. Dr. Greger is going to say nuts have these wonderful nutrients. And they're both right. They're just both right. And that's what you kind of have to think about.
Right.
And I'm putting parchment paper in the bottom of this so this doesn't stick because there's no oil.
What are you putting in there?
Parchment, the other half of the cornbread.
Oh, nice. Making a loaf.
I did this in case this was a fail. We would still have something
Nice.
decent to eat. I do that a lot.
Kim says Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Kim.
And Ryan would like to know, where in the Midwest did I grow up? Let's see, I was born in Toledo, Ohio, and lived there until I was in the 7th grade. And then we moved further south to a small town called St. Mary's, Ohio, which is actually where Grand Lake St. Mary's is, between St. Mary's and Salina, Ohio. It's kind of near Wapakoneta, Ohio,
Isn't
where
that where
Neil Armstrong is from.
JP does his summer thing? Is that St. Mary's?
Not St. Mary's, Ohio, that I'm aware of.
Okay. Maybe
I think it's in Chicago that he does. It's outside of Chicago that he does.
it
his
is in Illinois. Okay. You're right.
When I was a junior in high school, we moved to South Carolina. But when we lived in Ohio, I spent kind of, if it wasn't during the school year, I spent kind of equidistant time between St. Mary's and then Toledo and then southern Michigan, because my father's family lives in Michigan, or did live in Michigan, in a little village called Blissfield, Michigan.
Blissfield.
It's a village because it has less than 500 permanent residents there.
Interesting.
And it is outside of Adrian, Michigan. So spent a lot of time up in that area, Toledo, southern Michigan area, because Adrian's not that far from Toledo. I think at max it's like 30 minutes or something like that. So all of it was kind of close. But I enjoyed growing up there, and then but I have now been in the South longer than I lived in the North. So and my father's family, actually, aside from his immediate family, the rest of his family is all in Alabama. So I've had, like I said yesterday, I had the split household. I got the best of both worlds. I had my Polish relatives and my Southern relatives. So I feel well-rounded in the food world. Let's see. Kelly says, my African Grey got very excited when you thought you blew a fuse. That would have been an exciting thing. Yeah.
We were very excited too.
Hydran says maybe add some Torula smoked yeast to the greens or beans at the end.
I still have, yeah, that would be a great idea. I did get, what did I get? I got smoked dulce, which Cheryl will not let me put in. I'll let her smell it. It'll be fun for you guys to watch.
Dream Lily says, my latest distraction was trying to fill horse water while walking the dog to save time. And then at bedtime wondered why the water pressure was down almost 5 hours later. Yeah, we get that one.
What happened again?
Left the water running and then the water pressure went down. Actually, I discovered this morning that I left the water running in the sink in the bathroom
Because
upstairs.
Fergus likes to drink out of it.
Fergus likes to drink out of the faucet, and so I left it on for him last night, and then I forgot that it was on, so it had been running all night long.
A little bit. I am going to...
Mary Beth says, I just decided that my word for this year is going to be soak. I need to soak up a lot of knowledge about my health, and learning to eat better is a huge part of that.
I like
Nice.
that. I am splitting open the cornbread and we're going to put the greens on top of it.
Justine says, do lima beans come in different colors? I only seem to see white ones now, but I swear they were green when I was growing up. Yes, I love a green
I
lima
think
bean.
fresh they are kind of greenish hue.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got sweet potato. I'm just going to check. I'm so
My
sorry.
grandmother actually used to grow lima beans.
Just want to check these beans and see if they're, yeah, they're not, no, they're not ready. But they'll
It's
be
like
ready.
we're having those for dinner.
Yeah. That's okay. I
Yeah.
figured I'd check. Beans are the variable.
Yeah.
It's not up to you, but I do have sweet potato. that would be delightful.
Ryan says, if I listen to some Black Eyed Peas, does that count for good luck?
I think so.
I think so in my world. I like the Black Eyed Peas.
Well, it's kind of funny too because I have literally been putting up GIFs of those, like those moving meme things.
Yeah.
Because that's the only Black Eyed Pea ones I can find, and I don't know if people are going to get the reference or not.
Plants Only Muncher says, I eat raw collard greens. Cut out the stem, put hummus and sprouts on them, and roll them up. Interesting.
Nothing wrong with that. A lot of raw people do things with collards, and it's nice because they're so big that you can really fill a sandwich and things with them. Let's see.
Electric Carbarella is here. Hello to you.
Let me make sure the middle is cooked. Could go a little longer.
Jackie says, in the South, most people keep a bottle of pepper sauce for the peas. For those who don't know, it's small hot peppers covered with vinegar. Yep.
And you can get, Texas Pete makes some of those too.
Yeah, and sometimes you'll see them on tables in restaurants too.
In the South.
In the South.
I'm going to put this in for just a little bit longer.
TS would like to know, when the greens get darker, are they easier to chew and digest?
Probably. I do
think
not
they
know
are a
for a
little bit.
fact.
For me, they are.
If you do, also if you do them thin like this, that makes them easier to chew as well.
Yeah. Trish says she loves music. She starts the day off listening to some tunes and dancing around the house. Karen says, I've never had collards cooked any other way but southern dark greens. Apple says she's just digging into her breakfast, oats with blueberries and a big juicy pear. Nice.
This is our breakfast and lunch.
Hydran took off, said she gotta go. See you next time. Bye, Hydran, if you watch the replay.
And I think, go ahead and go through the any leftover comments, and I think we are actually going to go and eat. So I've got some Texas Pete out, so a little hot sauce of your choice to go in the greens and or Black Eyed Peas. That pepper sauce is also delightful. I'm just cutting up the cornbread. I don't have a lot of juices, but there's some. It will soak up the juices of these beautiful collard greens. And I had gone ahead and baked, I think this was a big Japanese sweet potato.
Nice.
You want less greens than that? Or is that about right?
That's about right. I mean, just kind of roll through some of these comments. TS was laughing about the boxes of doom. That's what she has. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, and Apple noticed how much sun was pouring into the kitchen.
Yeah.
Plants Only Muncher said it's pronounced Esselstyn, not Esselstein. Thank you for that.
I will probably
am
forget,
terrible
but
with
I'm
that.
not good.
Apple says, may that sunshine be a forecast for your 2024.
Aw, thank you.
Let's see.
Okay, here you go. Do you want any hot sauce
Lisa
on your
says,
greens?
hi, Happy New Year.
I need to eat.
You go for it.
What? Ooh. Oh, the hot sauce is good on the potato. I was not thinking about that originally. Remove some.
Diana would like to know, is there a difference between using polenta or cornmeal?
For this coarse ground cornmeal, maybe not. I would look on Bob's Red Mill site because it's probably a technicality that I am not positive of. Here, let me get you some more ice in your glass.
Thanks.
And then I'll give you some more drink. We can sit here and do the comments and eat. I just need to eat because what happens, and this is probably part of my ADHD, is I'm doing stuff and I'm all good. I don't need to eat. And
Gina's here.
But once I need to eat, it's pretty much like I'm going to cry if I don't eat. Don't do that to yourself.
Lisa's here,
Give
says
yourself-
Happy New Year, and you two are awesome. I love hanging out with you guys.
We love hanging out with you. Stir up our FOMOSA.
Oh, Gina came in while you were sitting at the table getting your fairy shirt. Gina, Kathy, there's a shirt that she wanted to order, and we were afraid that it would be sold out before she could get to it, so we all made her go over there and order it.
And I did. There's so many of my shirts I can't wear. And like some are just too big and that's fine. And some are too big and it just makes me look giant. And I don't like it.
Allie, all you need, sorry it looked like Allie, all you need is shout out to IUP.
What's IUP?
I'm not sure. I'm just giving the shout out.
Oh my God, this sweet potato is so good. I love
Tia
sweet
says,
potatoes.
I have been whole food plant forward, I think that is, since November 2021. I started for health improvement and to release weight. It is the best food choice I have ever made. I'm with you. I'm liking the way I feel. I'm liking the way the weight's coming off. It's coming off at a reasonable amount. It's not like something that I feel like I'm losing it too fast or anything like that.
Well, I think one of the things we noticed first in the first 4 days of being on the starch solution, both of us,
Yeah.
Cheryl's numbers changed a lot,
Yeah.
but we both noticed that our swelling went down.
Yes.
We lost a lot of inflammation.
Yes. A lot. Lisa was saying that QVC offers the Ninja Creamy with 3 pints. Often they'll have 5 points. You got one from them with 5 pints one time, didn't you?
I think it was
The deluxe, maybe.
it may have been the deluxe. No. It was the second Ninja Creamy, my purple Ninja Creamy.
The purple one. Michelle says 1965 here too, still young.
Indeed.
Ellen says Happy New Year. Made Ann Esselstyn's savory oats for breakfast today too. Made my black eyed peas earlier along with potatoes and have rice on now. Nice.
And you can always cook things like potatoes with your black eyed peas, especially if you're doing an Instant Pot cook or a stovetop cook.
And Ellen says, so enjoying the hangouts, which are helping me to stay on track. Now only 15 days until I check into True North.
Ooh, you'll have to tell us all about it.
Gina is excited for Mary's Mini. Trish says, sorry for the off-topic questions. Can you remind me of what type of popcorn popper and tennis shoes you use and where?
The tennis shoes are Ultra,
ALTRA.
and they're just very wide. They're zero drop. So they're like the Zero shoes that JP likes, only
A little cushier.
they're cushier, and I feel with my knees. And the thing is I worked waiting tables and all kinds of things and banquet serving throughout my life, so some of my joints need extra cushioning. And with that extra cushioning, I can walk miles and miles and miles a day. But you can get more cushioning or less cushioning. They even have some that are too cushioned for me. So if you can, go to a sports store and try all of them, and then you might be able to find some on sale online. The popcorn popper is the Dash microwave popcorn popper, but it doesn't have to be Dash.
I
It's just
can
a
show
glass one.
Sure. It's just glass. And then you measure the kernels in this and dump them in.
With pickle juice.
And then we put a little pickle juice in the bottom.
A couple of tablespoons of pickle juice.
Yep.
Apple says, I'm looking forward to Mary's Mini too. What starch are you going to pick? And I was wondering, should we all do the same starch? Because I was going to give recipes. I was thinking maybe potatoes, but if you guys all know, we could just pick your own starch, and I could do a bunch of sauces for recipes. What do you think?
That'd be good.
You want to do that so you could do rice, sweet potatoes, corn, any of those things? You used to be able to do corn tortillas on Mary's Minis, but you can't anymore.
Who said? Mary?
Dr. McDougall. I think there was a time that the rules changed a little bit, so it might have been Heather. And you're not getting the same amount of starch from a corn tortilla.
No more Thin Credibles.
Well, not forever, just for 10 days.
Remind me to put those in the freezer later.
Okay, we got some more Thin Credibles because we were at a different Whole Foods in a different local, near to us city.
Gina says she's probably going to pick potatoes. Kelly says, I am making the Instant Pot Black Eyed Peas for New Year's Eve that you kindly sent out in the email. I will most definitely be making the sloppy black eyed peas soon. Nice.
It's just, they're fun.
Dee says your emails are so great and thoughtful.
Oh, thank you. Apple says she usually goes with Yukon russet potatoes, but you might be going with sweet potatoes. I could do sweet potatoes. What do you guys
You
want?
like those better than I do.
I don't know. Taste that one. Isn't that one good?
Yeah. Katie says, finished cooking my black-eyed peas with kale, mushrooms, and rice, sweet potatoes in the oven for my sweet tooth. Again, Happy New Year. Looking forward to more delicious food this year. Happy New Year to you, Katie.
Somehow I feel like 2024 I'm going to be eating on camera, possibly even more.
Looks like a lot of people are picking potatoes for the mini.
I had originally said I was going to do potatoes, but now I'm just wondering if I did sauces, it might not matter what other vegetables and stuff people were picking.
Let's see. Apple says, I'm all about easy, low prep breakfasts, and when I did Yukons for the mini, I would make a big potato casserole and reheat segments for breakfast. Nice. Let's see. Ryan says, Dr. Greger himself even says the app is just supposed to be a guide, but not to stress out about doing them every day, to just do your best. Nice.
And I agree. And please know that what I said isn't against the app or Dr. Greger. It's only that if you're a person who takes things too seriously and gets perfectionistic about things, if it could throw you off track, be mindful of that. Then there's the other people that little push is going to get you right on track.
Gina says, we're all going to have so many ideas. This is going to be great. All You Need says, congratulations on your weight loss success. Thank you very much. We're all works in progress. Enjoy every victory. Yes. It's actually Blissfield, but Blissville is pretty much how we pronounce it, and it is kind of Blissville. There's not a lot there. It's a little teeny tiny town.
That's awesome.
Let's see. Everybody's just talking. Ryan says, I like the McDougall plan. I think it's a good plan to get started. I just find the people in the group sometimes are overwhelming and a little bit fanatic. I think that goes with any of the doctor's stuff. I found lurking in Facebook things before I decided to do something.
You were in a different... She was in the Mastering Diabetes.
Yeah, I totally
and again,
got out there from crazy people.
Us talking about this or us saying something about the McDougall or agreeing with you is not saying that those programs are not good. But I do think, and I've seen this in McDougall's too, where people will be like, you can't have that. And some people who do sofas. And we talked about this again. My perfect example is when someone will come in the comments and going, rolled oats are horrible. Don't ever eat rolled oats. And I was like, what the appropriate way to say is, I don't eat rolled oats because they're too processed and they don't agree with me. If you're having a problem like I did, you might want to try it. And I find that because there is another group, McDougall group, that we went to a couple of Zooms in, that I didn't feel cozy. I didn't feel cozy in there at all. I didn't, it felt very, and it's not run by the McDougalls. So this is an alumni group. And they're not mean or anything. It just was not, it didn't lift my spirits. It didn't make me excited about going to eat my lunch.
And we may have hit it on a bad day.
And it could just not be for us, and that's okay too. Everything isn't for everybody. And I talked about that on my walk somehow, and more people are talking about it this past year, is that how everyone's looking out through a very selfish, everything should be about me lens.
Yeah.
And so in me saying that's not my favorite group doesn't mean it's not your favorite group. And if it's not mine and it is yours, then you should be there. For sure.
Lydia loves the Southern traditions.
Some of them are good.
Apple, as usual, giving people plenty of information. And thank you, Apple, for reminding folks to give us the thumbs up because we are terrible at promoting ourselves.
Well,
Betsy, you are always welcome, and we are so glad that you were here today.
Peggy's saying, am I off SOS free? I've never been SOS free.
Yeah.
So the cornbread could be compliant. You would need to, okay, I'm pretty sure, I think if you look at Chef AJ's stuff, she would know better than me what baking powder or baking soda you can use. And in fact, if you're SOS free, I would just recommend making Chef AJ's cornbread recipe. I was going to make it and I couldn't find it. So I just modified the one on the back of the bag. So we don't do a lot of salt, but we do use some salt. So far, we're not noticing that causes an issue. I was having some high blood pressure before, but just going to McDougall has brought that down.
And we use a little sugar. It's not completely cut out.
No, because we do the McDougall program, and the McDougall program is not an SOS program. However, many people in the McDougall program are an SOS people. And my recipes, I always give you options for SOS. So for instance, with the cornbread, I would say if you don't want to use, I used a little brown sugar because it was quick and we have it and it's okay in our diet in small amounts. You could have used date. I tried to start out with applesauce. The applesauce, the corn flavor was not toned down by that at all. What was the other part of that? There was another part of that question. Can you go back? Or forward? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so the cornbread is McDougall, whole food, plant-based, no oil compliant. Absolutely. Okay. It is not SOS or SOFAS free compliant.
Let's see. Peggy also loves the sunshine in the kitchen. Ashley says thanks for the last 2 days of chats. They've been a great time. Hello, Lisa.
Oh, Lisa. Lisa's
Happy
a
New
great
Year.
vegan blogger.
Happy New Year to you. I'm trying to click on it. There we go. See, Diane is excited to see the finished black eyed peas recipe. Will we get these recipes in our email? I'm new to the cooking club.
This is not a cooking club event. This is just a YouTube for the public event. And probably not. I sent the black eyed pea recipes out if you're on the mailing list. And if you've joined Kathy's Cooking Club, you should be on the mailing list and should have gotten them. I resent them out again today. If not, email me or Cheryl and we'll get it to you. I just made up this greens recipe and I made up this cornbread recipe looking at the back of the bag. So these aren't this isn't a proper Kathy's Cooking Club demo where you get the recipes after or anything like this. This is you're hanging out with me while I'm just making stuff and we're just spending some New Year's Day together.
Michelle says enjoy your New Year's Day. Diane says Happy New Year. All You Need says that's my favorite way to eat collard. Enjoy some from me. We certainly will. Auntie Venom says my word is possibilities. That's a great word.
Ooh, that's a good word.
Robin has joined in, says, this is my first live, better late than never. So glad to have you.
Welcome.
Esther says, Happy New Year. I will be in the January McDougall program.
Oh,
Thank you for all the great tips you give. Oh, you're so very welcome, and you're going to love the McDougall program. It's great. So much information. Soak it all in. Ask questions whenever you get the chance in the lives with Dr. McDougall.
Which is constantly, daily.
Daily have access to him. Ask what you need to know, because that's the best time to get him, and he loves to answer questions.
Make sure you're showing your camera on the Zoom and ask him directly, because he loves that. He's more likely to answer you.
IUP is Indiana University of Pennsylvania.
Oh.
Thank you.
I always feel like an old person when I don't know what an abbreviation is.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of the smaller colleges, but I know.
Dog mom is here. Your dog is so cute.
Oh yeah, love that dog. Alicia Lee went to IUP. Wow, we got a lot of IUP people here. Glad you like the show, Dog Mom.
Lisa said I turned in about an hour. So I had a zero, here, can you get the can? A 0 alcohol brute sparkling wine. And then we had gotten Evolution holiday juice. We don't usually do juice, but this is our special treat. It's got pomegranate, cherry, lemon, and orange in it. And we just mixed the two together and made some mimosas.
Mimosas.
Living our best mimosa life. Oh, thanks, Dreamy Sunshine. We are enjoying it. Obviously, you see, I'm scarfing this down.
Yeah.
I'm getting Cheryl back for not letting me eat enough fondue last night.
All right. Ryan says, got signed up for the Heartbeat and signed up for the cooking club yesterday. All right.
Oh,
welcome.
Excellent. And
It's going to be a good year.
It is going to be a good year. Max is doing so good.
Apple likes Ultra shoes too. And they have a vegan line. Yes, they do. Alicia Lee is 69 years old. Welcome. We are glad to have you. Delia's here.
Yay!
Happy New Year.
Fergus, are you just going to make a lot of noise till I...
Oh my goodness.
He
Delia,
hops.
you actually feed real road runners? I've never seen one in person.
Say hi.
I think they would be amazing.
This is Fergus.
This is the little bubby. Yeah, I call him Bumble. But his name is Fergus.
Hello, sweet boy.
He's a good sweet boy. He wants what I won't let him have, which is to go outside.
He was a stray who picked us, so we're trying to get him to not. You want to just hold on? Yeah, you just need to be here.
And Tia says, I would love potatoes for Mary's Mini. Definitely will love the sauces too.
Well, there definitely will be sauces.
Ryan says
Can you
the
sit up
Ultra is vegan shoe with the minimum drop is the go-to hiking shoe. Yep. I have 2 of the hiking shoes, the high top ones, and I love them.
Can you guys
Robin
hear?
likes the sauce idea. Betsy loves the sauce idea.
Okay. Get more mileage with sauces they can use with so many things.
Yep.
And don't forget, you guys who just joined in Kathy's Cooking Club, I am going to try and get a couple of emails out to you this week. There is an oil-free sauce class 1 and class 2. There might be a class 3. You can always tell when we have something class 1, I have more ideas than I had time.
Looks like a lot of folks are definitely leaning towards potatoes.
Okay. We'll do potatoes with options.
Yep.
Are you a good boy? Are you a good boy?
Kitty Mommy says just took the plunge and bought the annual Cooking Club membership.
Oh, yay!
This is Susan.
We'll be so
Okay.
happy to have you.
So excited. I could do white sweet potatoes for the mini. I love them.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Even if we do something in class, let's say I do potatoes. The sauces you could use on different potatoes. we could talk about some different ideas. There's no one way to do anything.
CJ is with me. I also would like rice, but I'm going to do whatever she tells me
Well,
to.
we can do two different ones.
Okay. I'd like
We
to
could
do
try
rice.
that.
Yeah. So rice with sauces, that would be good. You know me, I'm just going to eat rice in my veggie mix all week.
Can I have one of my arms back to eat with?
Delia's also interested in potatoes. And Ryan says, you are completely right, Kathy. That's the reason I took the Gregor app off my phone. Also the reason I won't get a health watch.
I do like it. Okay, come here.
I do like my watch.
But it's taking steps off. I have Cheryl's hand-me-down Apple Watch. Okay.
Justine
Go.
wants to know, can you do both white and sweet potatoes on the mini? They're both potatoes, right?
Okay, Mary's Mini is different than the regular starch solution, and you're supposed to pick one starch. And let me explain a little bit why. Is that it's supposed to be a little monotonous. So I'm gonna jazz it up a little bit. But the main thing is it helps you reset your taste buds. You don't have to, it's good for times that you're trying to get back on track, times that you're trying to set your taste buds, times that you don't want to cook a whole lot. Though we'll probably do like some potato casserole, and usually it's just a starch, vegetables, and you can have a sauce. So, yeah.
Jane is here. Jane would also love different sauces for the mini. Always looking for sauces I can use on multiple foods. Good to see you, Jane. Hope you're having a great new year. Hope the videoing is going well.
Yeah, how's that going? Have you been doing anything yet?
Delia says, you guys lift my spirits. I appreciate you. Thank you. You lift our spirits. You guys always make our day better. Sometimes when we get on here, we're super grumpy and we've just been just bickering back and forth about something, and we get on here and then all is right with the world because you guys just lift us up.
Yeah, I mean, we're still just regular old people who have good and bad feelings.
Abby says, I'm voting sauces that are mix and matchable because that is what I'm doing with my 12-week meal plan. And Delia says Dylan has an easy cornbread recipe.
And he's SOS, so that
Yeah.
would work well. And again, you guys are just hanging out with us while we do our normal thing.
Gina said, off topic, Broccoli Mom's new Indian cookbook is half off right now on
Ooh.
Instagram.
She makes some really wonderful stuff. And I was hearing from Elizabeth that she lived in India for a while.
Nice. Apple, Fergalicious. Fergie is delightful.
He is a delight. He's also good at teaching us how to set our own boundaries because he's like, no.
Yeah, Ultra is great with the wide sizes as well. And in fact, I wear a wide shoe in like Brooks and things like that. And when I moved to Ultra, I didn't have to wear wide shoes. So if you're right on that cusp and you have to get the wide shoes for like Nikes and Brooks and all those kind of running shoes, if you look into the Ultras, you may not need a wide shoe with them because I was so relieved to not have to get wides.
Yeah. And if you guys are watching now, and I know some of you have come in, Kathy's Cooking Club is still on sale, so you can come in and be in the Mary's Mini. The Mary's Mini is not going to take place on the normal YouTube, and I know it's a little confusing. There are private YouTubes for classes twice a month for Kathy's Cooking Club. So when I come on YouTube, there'll still be free stuff because there always has been, and Kathy's Cooking Club has existed since, I don't know, like 2 weeks before COVID in March of 2020. Because I think it's important to have some stuff for free, but it's also important to be able to dive deeper into things and to have this great resource of community in that way too. But don't worry, the free community is not going away anywhere either. It's just that this is the lowest price it's ever going to be. I had decided, I did some numbers, and this is the last time it can be $25 a month.
Yeah.
But if you join now, it'll be $25 a month forever for you, no matter what the price goes up to, as long until you leave and try and come back. If you leave and try and come back, then it's whatever it is at that time.
Janice says, I'll be doing the Potato Mary's Mini. Looking forward to starting, but glad it's not starting this week. I need some time to organize.
I thought I was really wrestling with, should we do it this week? Because everybody and their brother and sister is doing something this week.
Rushing to do something, and so, let's pull it back. Let's give people time to rest.
Oh, and give me time to rest.
And give her time to, rest and then develop some stuff.
Look how cloudy it got.
Take a quick trip to my parents' house, and then we'll come back and be ready to go. She'll probably do all her recipe developing on the road.
I'll do some of the planning.
Yeah. So Ann says, I just bought the cooking class membership, but it reads, this is not a valid full metal URL provided for this product. What do you advise I do? Valid full metal warning.
Can you forward the email that you're getting that error from to support@healthyslowcooking.com, and Cheryl will look into it for you today, Ann. Then she'll have your email address, and we can talk about it. If we need to, Thrivecart may have burped. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it and see what's going on with that. Yeah, it's healthy. It's support@healthyslowcooking.com. Just forward whatever you got.
Oh, and Janice has an orange cat called Nacho.
Spicy Nacho.
I like that. Yeah, he is what's funny is I think he lived in another home, but he lived almost 9 months outside.
Yeah.
Because we feed some other feral cats. I was outside and he just jumped up and got on my chest and was like, hello, lady, I'm going to give you all the kisses.
Well, he tried to come in the house
and he tried to immediately come in the house. He literally picked us. And
he's at the front door going, let me in, let me in.
Yeah. But we always say he's sweet and spicy. He's sweet, but no means no. So if I pick him up when he doesn't want to, he literally, you go to pick him up if he doesn't want to, he flops on his side like this so you can't get him.
It's funny.
But if I catch him and I pull him up to say hi, he'll tolerate it. And then I put him down and he'll come up and he goes, pat, pat, pat. He doesn't put his claws out, but he's like, no. I said no.
And we can't help ourselves but pick him up when he doesn't want to be picked up because he does that sweet little meepy sound.
He goes, eep.
It's so cute.
And it's the most adorable thing I've ever heard come out of a cat.
Diane says, I want to join the Mary's Mini. I also just cooked 16 potatoes in the Instant Pot in 15 minutes. I would love new sauces. That is wonderful.
And don't forget, so for those of you who maybe haven't had the oat queso and maybe didn't watch last night, I modified the oat queso to turn it into a fondue. Recipe will be coming out eventually. And the ranch dressing y'all been begging for came out. Not many people went to see it. So I know it's a holiday, so I'm trying to take a chill pill. I'll put it back out next week, out into the world. It's up on the blog. But there's an oat queso. I've got some other sauces and things too on the blog.
Tia says, I do love Kathy's Cooking Club. The classes are great, and also the interaction with Kathy and members too. I just switched from monthly to the annual subscription. Yay!
Awesome.
And Ryan says, I just discovered Broccoli Mom a couple days ago. I was interested in that cookbook as well. We might have to check that cookbook.
Yeah, we totally will.
And Carolyn says, this is my first live, but I have watched replays before. Where do we get the recipe for the black-eyed peas?
HealthySlowCooking.com is my main blog. I also have PlantBasedInstantPot.com. All of those are my recipes. So if you want the Instant Pot black-eyed pea recipe, go to PlantBasedInstantPot.com, and there's a little thing at the top and search black-eyed peas, or go to HealthySlowCooking.com, and it's the slow cooker recipe and various other black-eyed pea recipes. Oh, and Apple put them up for you.
Yeah, Apple posted them. Thank you, Apple. And Diane says, will you remind us ones who are newer to Cooking Club when approximately will you be doing the classes? I love you for your real honesty. I have failed and want a partner for sure.
So, yes, and let me Of course, there's a timer that went off, and I'm like, squirrel! Get our backup cornbread out of here and turn off the oven. So what usually happens is the beginning of the month, I send out, hey, what classes they are and save the dates. But you don't have to save the dates, because if you can't come live, you can always watch the replays.
But she hasn't sent them out for this month yet because that's my fault.
Because it's January 1st.
And because it's my fault because I was trying to figure out
When we were going
to go see my parents.
But that should go out tomorrow, for sure. It could be tomorrow evening, but it'll go out tomorrow at some point. The other thing is, typically the day before a class, I send out an email going, hey, don't forget, class is tomorrow. And then the day of the class, I go, hey, don't forget, there's class today.
Mm-hmm. And then right before the class starts.
Well, that's
that's the one.
that's okay. The day of. So that's why it's really nice to be on the mailing list. So if you haven't been getting emails from the mailing list, and I've been sending emails every day for the past couple of weeks, email support, and you might have to get a new email address for Kathy's Cooking Club or just for reminders. We'll figure it all out.
Yep. Jeremy, look. We are of the same mind, my friend. Potato salad, mustard potato salad, Asian potato salad, sweet potato salad. I am with all the potato salads. I am in.
That sounds like a Summer's Mary's Mini to me. I need some, you know why I want to do Potato Mary's Mini? Because I want to do mashed potatoes with mushroom gravy and steamed vegetables. I could eat that 3 times a day.
She can.
I love
and I can
gravy
eat,
and mashed
and
potatoes.
I can eat rice with the kids' vegetable mix of corn, green beans, and carrots, all day, every day. I don't care. Mm-hmm. Kelly says, can we have fruit on Mary's Mini? Thinking not. That part will be really tough for me. I don't
know for sure, but I know on the maximum weight loss it's very minimal. I'll check the rules.
Yeah. We'll make sure that
And let me tell you this too. So just because we're doing Mary's Mini, if you're like, I want to do Mary's Mini, but I'm going to have 2 almonds a day, that's your business. And do what makes you feel best and meet your goals. This is what I would say too. So if it's a hardship and you can't do it without doing fruit, just maybe don't tell everybody in the group you're having fruit. Just so it doesn't confuse them.
Yeah.
But have, if you want a couple of grapes, have a couple of grapes. You want to have half an orange, have half an orange. I'm going to delve back into the rules and refresh myself and make sure I'm telling you all the right things, though.
Yep.
Apple's put the Mary's Mini guidelines.
Oh, see, Apple is always
Apple's the best.
Apple, you are now the third part of our brain. You're officially in there.
I'm sorry for you for that. But
Lori says, I like potatoes and rice, but I find potatoes will satisfy me for longer. Looking forward to your class no matter what you do. And Nacho and his brother were born under Janice's house. I tried to tame them as kittens, but failed. Now I'm kind of stuck with them, but he is entertaining.
We feel a little bit like that with Fergus sometimes.
Fergus is a little bit of a wuss, too.
Would you like me to talk for a bit so you can eat your greens?
No, I'm fine. I'll wait till you're finished done.
This is delightful.
Okay, Kelly says, I got that message too. I went back into the email and tried something different and it worked. Okay, so maybe there was a little bloop at some point in time with the
It could be.
Thrive cart. Thank you, Apple, for putting up the Mary's Mini guidelines. We appreciate you so much for all you do to help us.
Ryan says, I wasn't planning on doing his Mary's Mini, but I might if Cheryl does the rice.
Yeah.
And in the cooking club,
if
you just want to show up to, I think I'm going to do 2 different cooking sessions. So instead of having a long 3-hour class, we'll probably have a couple of 1-hour classes, and maybe we'll meet in the private part of Heartbeat. That's for Kathy's Cooking Club members. I'm still figuring it out. But you can come to those classes if you're doing a Mary's Mini or not. if you're just going to use those for other recipes. What I wanted to do, because so many people ask us about starting and being part of a group to do it, but no one who's in Kathy's Cooking Club has to do the Mary's Mini. I see it as a bonus.
Davika says, I love mashed potatoes and gravy. What gravy do you use?
There's a few different ones. I love golden gravy. If you go to healthyslowcooking.com, look up gravy. It's a dry gravy mix. Actually, I probably have it over here. I've got a cheese sauce and a gravy mix over here somewhere. Yep.
Got lots of gravy lovers on here. Tia
There's a
is
baby
also
one.
a gravy lover.
So I make big batches. This one just went into a smaller container. And it's oats and a few things. And then you saute it to toast up the oats. And you can add water or non-dairy milk. It's up to you. I usually use, and it makes kind of chickeny gravy, if that makes sense. If you wanted more of a different, like a brown gravy, I make fresh oat milk, 1 cup of oats to 4 cups of water, blend. Don't heat it up in your Vitamix. Like, you're going to blend it a lot less than you think. Strain out the oats. And then use that oat milk to make a gravy. It will naturally thicken up without any other thickeners. You might have to turn the heat up for a while. You might have to boil it down. There's a lot of leeway. But oftentimes what I'll do is I'll saute some mushrooms, and then I'll add the oat milk, some seasonings if you want, a little nutritional yeast, mushroom powder, smoked paprika, salt or salt substitute, black pepper, and then I just whisk it, and then I'll put that over potatoes. So those are our 2 main gravies. Cheryl's email address is support@healthyslowcooking.com. It actually goes directly to her.
Yeah. If you want my my actual like personal
not hard
email
to guess.
address, it's my name at gmail.com.
Just like mine is.
First and last name at gmail.com. So it's super easy. Jeremy had a moment today, 2 cupboards of spices and had to go to the store because you're out.
Oh, that happens to me because I have a couple of cabinets of backups, and then I have my big one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Diane said that she saw that they updated Mary's Mini to include 1 fruit a day.
Oh, that's
Nice.
great. Actually, that'll be very
yeah.
helpful. I have lots of, we got gifted some mandarin satsumas.
Let's see. And Justine says, at Kathy Hester, would your recipes during the mini be geared more towards white or sweet potatoes? Sounds more like white.
I haven't made them up yet, but probably. I'm thinking, when you say sweet, I'm thinking of an regular orange sweet potato. What would be good on that? And we can do one of these too. It would be like a curry sauce. Like something with like garam masala and some vegetables and things like that. Maybe. For a Mary's Mini, we probably wouldn't put chickpeas or anything, but we could do like a really nice, flavorful Indian sauce.
Let's see. Ryan said, and thanks for posting that, Apple. I really appreciate everything you do. So much. You have no idea. You just make my life so much easier because I get scattered trying to grab things and put them in, and it makes my brain explode trying to do all the things. So this is wonderful.
And also, you've got to remember, we were live 4.5 hours last night.
3 hours now?
And I took an 1.5-hour walk.
Yeah.
So
And she was live on the walk.
I've talked to more people this week with you guys than I probably have talked to people all year.
Ryan says, thanks. I was actually thinking about doing the Mary's Mini. I just did not want it to be with a group that would stress me out. The coziness of this group seems like it would be a good fit. Oh, yeah.
Well, and I can tell you this right now. If anybody starts going after other people and what they're eating,
Yeah.
I will take care of that.
Yeah. We're definitely a do your very best group.
And
we're not going to judge because we don't want to be judged.
Well, the thing is, this is not helpful. It doesn't make you make it easier for you to be on your health journey if someone's stressing you out. And I'm always looking for some guidelines and pushing on them a little and seeing what works for me. But yeah, you can do your own thing, and I can even
Thank you, Gina.
try and help me remember. Just say, if you want to do Mary's Mini, great. If you don't, enjoy the recipes. Enjoy your dinner. Enjoy your meals. Come hang out with us.
And I mean, technically, for the people who are asking about sweet potato versus white potato, I mean, you do you, right? If you want to interchange them during the mini,
There's just things like mushroom
it's,
gravy.
it's your thing. Nobody is going to like take points off away from you if you eat a different kind of potato this week.
No, it's just some of the sauces.
The sauces might not go so great.
Like with rice potato, everything's super neutral. But when we get sweet potato, like this white
that.
sweet potato is pretty neutral.
I don't know. It's pretty sweet. I'm not a huge fan of sweet potatoes
doesn't
because
like
I don't
them.
I don't always like sweet foods, sweet savory, sweet foods that are supposed to be savory in my mind. But this one is less sweet than like an orange one.
It's a Japanese sweet potato. So it's purple on the outside.
I mean, it tastes like it's the perfect
delicious.
combination of a regular potato and a sweet potato.
You've said that before, so I thought it would be interesting. And so, like, what I put on this sweet potato was absolutely nothing. Nothing. No salt, no pepper, no this, no that. I baked the sweet potato, poked holes in it, baked it, cut it in half, cut a half in half, and that's how we ate it. And over the summer when I wasn't feeling so good, we had finally found some ham and yams. And I had baked a couple of those and I had them in the fridge, and I literally would just take it out of the fridge and eat my ham and yam and go back to bed. So it just kept me from being hangry and hard to be around. And it was the summer, so it cold out of the fridge was perfect. I would totally do that again. Oh, you guys are awesome.
You guys are
Thank
also
you.
sweet. Oh, Jeremy. Wish I could get that cast iron crust on potatoes, but I don't want the elemental iron in my diet. Yeah, that's cast iron. You know, I grew up with, like, my grandmother, she would have made this cornbread in a cast iron skillet. And we would have cut it into triangles. I always used to love that, you know, just like, and she made biscuits that way too. Like, she put everything in the cast iron skillet. It was weird.
And I mean, it's never going to be a one-for-one what you can get in the air fryer versus what you get from a deep fryer or an oiled cast iron skillet. And there are some, you know, whereas I tend to be more of the mind of, oh, you don't have to miss anything. There are some small things. But in general, I'm kind of like, eh. That's how it works for me. Oh, wait. Who's getting a case of potatoes? Go back a little bit.
Oh,
Apple's thinking of
thinking
getting a case of Japanese or Hannah sweet potatoes. Ooh.
that's why I think they're a combination of the two. It's the starchiness. It's
yeah.
the starchiness, where the others are more mushy.
Well, and this is going to be more filling, I think, for like the starch solution kind of filling. Because one of the things Dr. McDougall says is one of the highest foods on the satiety scale is a white potato.
Yeah.
It just stretches you out and sends those signals to your brain.
Yeah. Gina, thank you so much.
That was very kind.
Very kind of you.
Thank you very much.
We really appreciate it so much. And Mona says, this is my go-to group. I love there's no judgment zone or naming people. I feel if I get off track, I can talk about it. Oh, definitely, because, you know, we're not perfect over here.
No,
you know,
and that's the thing.
I got a gift certificate to Cinnaholic for Christmas from one of my coworkers. It's vegan.
It's one step or probably 10 steps better than the working people did before. So
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
It's better than the non-vegan choice, but you know.
You have to do the choices that are best for you, and some people work better in a stricter environment than others. I don't work well because to me, if it's black or white thinking, I am likely to just stop. So that's why we do the starch solution 90 to 95%. That 5 to 10% will go out to eat, and we don't ask if there might be oil on the baked tofu or something like that. But, and other people I know identify as being triggered by certain foods, and those are foods that I would encourage you to still avoid, even if it's foods that I eat successfully, because we're all so different.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, I feel like most of the people that are in this group or coming to this group now are all kind of getting in the mindset of like, you know what triggers you, you know what you can and can't do, right, without having a hard time. And we are here to support you in whatever that is, because you support us. I mean, your support is getting me through this personally, because I would have already by now slipped so far off the wagon. I'd been at Burger King having a cheeseburger, and I haven't. So
You wouldn't have done that bad, but you would have thought about it a lot more.
I would have thought about it a lot more.
Well, and I think that's the thing, that we all get to be here together, and we all get to be honest about what's going on. And to me, sustainable is way better than perfect.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
that may mean something different to you than it does to me. So especially like maybe if you have kidney issues, or you have very high blood pressure and you can't have salt, that may mean that for you, you don't do salt ever.
Yeah.
And that is perfectly fine, and we support you in that. So far, we can get away with a little bit. We're going to keep getting away with a little bit of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at some point, we're going to have to,
We don't know what we might have to do. The future is open, and
It is true.
We're open to seeing.
Yeah. Ryan says, I'm so happy to find this group. First time I saw Kathy, I thought she just did appliances. She is the appliance queen. And she does do...
But I've done
lot with
inclusive recipes for over a decade.
Yeah, she's been doing the inclusive recipes since her first book, even when we did not do McDougall, when we
Or
did
no
not...
oil. When
or
we
no
were
oil or
eating
anything.
oil, all my recipes always had oil-free options. Sometimes the publishers would take salt-free options out. So if you have an old book, just read salt or salt substitute wherever you see salt. Because I've always said it.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes publishers decide what they think people will and will not like, so they take it right out of the recipe. So
Well, they made me put oil back in the first one. They wouldn't
Yeah.
let me have no oil as an option even.
Yeah.
The revised vegan slow cooker does. But
Yeah.
that's why the first one doesn't. It wasn't because I didn't try. Because for me, if you guys were all over here and someone didn't eat salt, I wouldn't put salt in the beans. I'd put salt on the table, right? It's not that hard to accommodate.
yeah. Robin says, thank you, Kathy, for spending the time. So gratefully appreciated. It was a nice holiday. I love the walks.
Oh, awesome. Well, we'll see. Maybe if Cheryl's doing really good at the talking. If we because we need to take the dog out, we can talk and see. I'm just about done talking. I don't think I need to talk anymore. I love y'all, but that was a lot of talking yesterday. But if we don't do a walk today, we will do a walk later on this week for sure.
Yeah, and Davika says, being in this group is helpful to work through issues that keep you from reaching your goals. My difficulty is I have reached a plateau and need support to get over the hump.
And Stacy, our support specialist from the Dr. McDougall 12-day program, is going to be on twice this month. So if you guys have some questions, I know Apple got over a plateau by asking Stacy some questions. And Stacy was literally saying the one that helped Apple was a 50% starch plate is the minimum amount of starch you should have.
Yeah.
It should be more than 50% starch and the rest vegetables.
Betsy says that 5 to 10% that you are flexible with is really helpful for me. You have no idea. It's been really helpful for us as well.
Yeah, and I think what can be hard, and what we're hearing from some other people too, is just you hear my way, you're going to do it exactly this way and exactly that way. And like I've heard Dr. McDougall say some other things, like he'll kind of say, well, of course you could have that every once in a while. It wouldn't kill you. It wouldn't probably make you sick. But then it'll come around with, but can you just have it then? And I think that's what we're trying to discover, because there are some things that we've gone out, and when we first started going out, we'd be like, so do we feel like we're going to try and have this all the time? And we're pretty happy. Like the Purple Rice bowl place that we go to in Cary, it's delightful. We never feel bad. We never gain a bunch of weight. We probably eat more salt there because it is a Korean-based restaurant, so there is more salt.
But we like
eat miso soup,
Yeah, we
and
like
it's
it.
vegan.
It's a very nice place.
Yeah, I like it, and it's cheap. We get lots of vegetables there. But I think the thing is like once you start saying, no, you can never do that. You have to always eat at home. That just makes me start feeling really small.
And when the boys are working, they always hook us up.
They give us lots and lots of veggies.
There's a couple high school kids that work there, and then they'll just pile the stuff on. They don't have any, like, can I have a little bit more of that? Here, have a whole bunch more
It's
of that.
delightful. I get like triple broccoli, triple kale, and yeah, they're really good. And Davika says, Dr. Bernard says only to consume very little amount of oil. He's never said no oil. And I think he's the one of the whole food plant-based doctors, it's one of the only ones that doesn't say no oil. And I think that's why most of the doctors are so similar. It's just a matter of how they feel. And I know some people who are on SOFAS-free diets tend to be a little more careful about things and tend to feel a little more triggered from the people that I've interacted with. And I've been teaching some classes at the 40s group as well. And so I think that's why I keep saying you need to really look in yourself and what is triggering for you. There's certain things we won't have in the house, like we do not have chips in this house.
Nope.
Because they're, I do agree with Chef AJ's, if it's in your house, it's in your mouth. I am also okay with occasional treats at this moment. That could change. And so we had some cheese in the fridge, vegan cheese, obviously, for several months. But I was saving it for Christmas, and we ate it for Christmas.
We had a little cheese plate with some grapes and some of the homemade crackers that Kathy made.
Yeah, from the almond pulp.
And then we found some on sale crackers at Sprouts that didn't have oil in them.
Yeah, which was very nice, because the cheese that we bought did have some oil. That's also what spurned on my cheese making extravaganza.
Yeah. Oh, Gina wants to be sure that you know that Broccoli Mom book is only on sale for 24
Are y'all
hours.
going to send me off to buy something else?
Yeah, it looks that way. We're going to have to get it.
Oh, Dulce? It's not Dulce? Dulce?
Okay.
I have no idea. I should just say smoked seaweed.
And
But
Davika
thank
says,
you, Diana. I didn't take that the wrong way. I mispronounced so many things because I read instead of listening to other people say them.
Davika says that new book is beautifully done.
Oh, awesome.
Davika, my grammar sucks. No, it's not bad at all.
No, my grammar. So I always say I'm the reason editors were invented, and that's great.
And Apple agrees. Find the foods that suit your constitution and pre-existing medical conditions. Do you? Yep.
And I think what happens, it's the same way as when people turn vegan, how it kind of gives vegans a bad name, right? Because they're all trying to preach the gospel of vegan a little bit. They're like, it's wonderful, it's easy. And in a way, we were feeling that way too. But the starch solution isn't hard.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much wiggle room. It's just not that hard. But that's not what people are hearing. People are hearing, do what I do, the way I'm doing it, so you can also get the results that I got. And that's why we're both so specific about that, because the reason there's a lot of different whole food plant-based doctors and a lot of different people who follow them is because they appeal to that person so much. And we can all be in here, and just because we're doing Dr. McDougall doesn't mean you can't do any of these others.
Yeah. Cobweb Gerbil says, that's so great. Cobweb
Oh my
Gerbil.
gosh, that is almost as good as
That's awesome.
oh, that's one of my top 5.
Watching your videos helped me to pick the nut milk maker. I chose the Archmira. Good choice.
Yeah.
The Archmira is still like, I'm going to say now it's the second most used, because lately you have really been doing the soy milk in the Miomat. So.
And that was one of the things, and actually it's down there, one of my top tools of 2023 is the Miomat. And I'm really enjoying having the nut or the plant milk pulp, especially Okara nut pulp, and doing stuff with that and getting, so you're kind of using the whole thing. But I'm so glad that you like it. The Archmira is delightful.
Ryan came across you when looking for Ninja Creamy recipes.
And more will come.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have enough ideas and things that I need a staff, but I can't pay a staff yet. So
Yeah, and I was gonna say, when you were talking about that earlier, that Apple actually was the scientific proof of that. Apple took what Stacy said and ate more starch and then started to lose weight again.
I know it sounds completely unintuitive, and even then I had not heard it that way, because what we try to do, Cheryl and I, is that a lot of influencers and a lot of people, you get on a diet or a way of eating.
You get excited about it.
Well, and then you make it your own. And that's what Chef AJ did. And so Chef AJ does Sofas, right? So Sofas is built on top of Dr. McDougall's stuff.
Yeah.
Or Plantful Kiki, or some of the other people, High Carb Panna. But what ends up happening is someone leaves the McDougall program and says, you want to eat a 50-50 plate, because that's what they remembered. Kind of what I remembered, but I think it was from watching all those. And Stacy's like, no, Dr. McDougall never said eat a 50-50 plate.
Yeah.
He said, don't have less than 50% of starch. So what happens is we hear something and then it just becomes like a rule, like what we believe in, even though it may or may not be true.
Yeah, and Davika's, reminding everyone that there are people that have had weight issues and struggles still even eating plant-based. And that, like Broccoli Mom, the plant-based dads. Joey.
Plantful Kiki.
Yeah.
And there's also a big difference, and Stacy and I have talked about that, in someone who's 30 years old doing the starch solution and someone who's almost 60 years old and doing the starch solution, because your body, your metabolism is different, your requirements are different, and those are all great things to ask Stacy as well. Karen says she had to put a stop to the salt for now. It's starting to bother my blood pressure, and we support you.
Yeah.
Those of you who do not eat salt, I really try to say salt or salt substitute, or I'll say I'm adding salt because we eat salt, but you could use this, because I want you to feel supported in the choice you need to make.
Yeah. A lot of times you don't even cook with salt. We just add it afterwards.
Right, or a little bit as we're, you saw me add a few things today, and that's kind of how I do it.
And Karen was saying that Dr. Campbell doesn't say no oil. I like his take on the whole food plant-based diet. I thought he did. I thought he was a no oil.
Well, at least the plant-based pods are no oil pods.
Yeah.
And those are under Dr. Campbell. But I don't know what he says in his books.
Ryan was asking, what's the SOFA diet?
Sofas, so it's
sugar, oil,
flour, alcohol, salt, nuts or seeds. I make something else. So it's like McDougall Plus.
Yeah.
It's really Chef AJ's original way of eating. And it is a little more veggie forward, typically.
Because, Chef AJ figured out what works for her. So.
Stacia was another person about her plateau. And I don't know her yet, but I'll have to figure that out. Sofas free is salt, oil, flour, alcohol, sugar free. We left out sugar.
Sugar, yeah.
But there's also no nuts and seeds in there. And Gina, I've been on a 3-year plateau. I still wonder, and I mean, I'm not to the point that I need to be thinking about that last 10 pounds, obviously. But sometimes I wonder how much of the last 10 pounds is you really need to lose it versus your body is happy. Stacy and I are talking about that. I just don't know.
Yeah.
And I did meet Gina, and Gina looks lovely. You are gorgeous,
Yes.
just the way you are.
You are.
And if that's something you want to do, we support you in it. But
See, the weasel would like to know what's in the pot. And we haven't checked the pot in a while.
oh, it's black-eyed peas. They're not ready.
Yeah.
They were hard as a rock.
We're going to have to eat
They
those.
may go all the way till tomorrow,
Yeah.
or get put into the Instant Pot.
And Hydron is back.
Yay!
We're still here, but we're winding down. We're winding down.
Davika, it is white flour, almond, and oat flour okay. If you're talking about sofas free, it's a little bit iffy. I use sometimes some whole oats. That seems to be okay, but nut flours would not be okay because there's no nuts. I am not. I'm versed on it enough that I can make sure the classes I teach for it are pretty much ready to go.
See, Susan says, I joined the club yesterday and was thrilled to discover the recipes for using milk pulps. So very excited to have taken the leap, motivated, of course, by your generosity. Thank you, Kathy and Cheryl. You're so very welcome. We're glad you're here and going to be part of the club.
And it's actually Hydron. It says Carlene. We have her Okara cream cheese recipe in there, so you need to thank her. I
Yeah.
made a vanilla cranberry version and one version without yogurt. And Hydron, I did it because I only had vanilla yogurt. I thought I did have soy yogurt, and it's true. I opened it, it was there, and then I opened it and I looked in the lid and said, yeah, that's not going to get used. Salt, oil, flour, alcohol, sugar.
That's she's saying what sofas is.
Okay. Davika says I'm 74. Numbers have come down, but not sure.
But
where
are
they
not where they should be. Okay. So
And you know, it's
it takes a while.
process. And here's the thing, because I know my blood pressure goes up when I'm stressed, although it's come down significantly and I am off medication. But if I get super stressed for very long, I might have to not have salt. I might have to be on medication again. But so far so good.
hello and Happy New Year to you, Debbie Brooks.
Oh, you just figured out how to join the live chat. Yay!
Yay.
Welcome.
And Davika says veggies for breakfast 3 times per day.
Yep. That's lovely. And
Yep. And Gina, you're absolutely right. Chef AJ says, do what works for you to get the results you desire. And, you know, that's kind of what we're all trying to do here.
And Karen says she's seen some talks about where Dr. Campbell is talking about some different oils, bad oils versus good oils. I do think like his son, Kim Campbell, his son, and the people who are in the plant pods do say no oil. I know Kim's recipes never have any oil. We've talked about that before. Marie says, I'll volunteer to be staff. That'd be awesome.
See, and
Stasia.
Okay.
Halua. Oh, I'm sure I butchered that. But
Yeah, and Gina was saying that she can't eat nuts or seeds, Chef AJ, but she allows avocado nuts and seeds if you can handle them.
and that's very true too, because Chef AJ has a lot of allergies. I don't know if you guys really know that. I think some people think she just eats strictly. She would love to eat tofu and beans, but she's allergic to beans. And for a while she was trying to eat 1 lentil a day.
Yeah.
Trying to see if it would make a difference. And so, yeah, she just has a lot of allergies.
Sheila says, I'm having your smoky sweet black-eyed peas and greens for New Year's Day. Yummo.
Oh, yay.
Awesome. Cool. And, oops, sorry.
It's okay. It just said Stasia had a plateau, but she's got a book with some recipes.
It went all the way back. Sorry, guys.
Here.
I'm almost there.
I do love this sweatshirt. It's a Halloween Star Wars shirt that we got when we were at Disney.
Okay, here we go. There we go. Spelled her name wrong. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, keep going.
Then we were down there. Stasha.
and has an ebook
Ebook.
with recipes.
Okay.
And Karen says oats are the only thing that's okay to turn into flour. I know Chef AJ does some things different from Sopha's, for sure. She does some oat flour after 10 years of being flour free. She's doing more of her dessert recipes as well. That's something she's really excited. Oh, Hydrant, it's delicious. And she also used the chickpea cheese today on a slice of Costco's Everything bread, toasted in my toaster. Oh,
Those toaster bags. That's
I just
what-
gave some away.
Yeah, didn't Mom tried to give us some too, didn't she?
Maybe, but we don't have a regular toaster anymore, but those
Yeah.
are awesome. So they're like these little,
Like sandwich looking bags.
but they're kind of made of a metally sort of thing. And you put them in and
almost like a
and it holds it together so your cheese won't leak out. And
Yeah.
and the chickpea cheese, that's a no oil cheese.
Yeah.
Oh, Trish, we're so glad to have you guys go on this journey.
Yeah. I think we're gonna
Here. I think we are, let's see. Yeah, a toaster bag is kind of interesting. I think we're going to go, because I was hoping for an hour to 2 hours today. And we have done, what, 1, 2, 3, 4.
3.5 hours.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my God.
3.5 hours.
We've spent our whole afternoon with you guys again, so there's
Yep.
going to be no walking and talking today.
Yep. Sorry, guys.
I've hit the wall. I've not just hit the end, I've hit a wall. And I love, you guys are all so
Yep.
super delightful. And so
I gotta get some work done.
and I have to take the dog for a walk before it gets dark. So we went from it being really sunny to the sun trying to set. I wish you guys the very best 2024,
Yeah.
where you get clear on your goals and you make small, achievable steps. This is not the year of all the New Year's resolutions. This is the year that you pick one thing, you focus your attention on it, and it gets done. And even if it gets done means I lost one of those 10 pounds. I did not gain any weight if weight loss is one of yours. So play with it, be curious, see where some of these goals take you. Lisa says, I've completely gone off the reservation this Thanksgiving. Join the club. Yeah, we'll do a Mary's Mini. We'll all
Yep.
get back on track together.
Yep.
Oh, Trish says, I've been gifted several bags of uncooked chickpeas. Hey, you might want to cook those because also the water you get to keep is the aquafaba. You can grind them into chickpea flour. I've never done dried beans in the Vitamix dry blender. You can put dried beans into a grain mill, so you could do that for sure. Oh, thanks Janice for hanging out with us, and Betsy. You guys are amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta go. Part of me just wants to go to bed. I think it's been a very busy couple of weeks. So
It has.
tomorrow, you guys may not see or hear much of a peep. There'll be an email, so if you're not on the email list, just go get on there.
I suspect my first day back at work after being out for a while is going to be kind of hectic too for a few days. So.
Yeah, I think I'm going to still sleep in tomorrow. Mel, it's good to see you. I know, Dee, it was 2 marathons in 2 days. Oh, you're doing 2 marathons in 2 days. I felt like I did 2 talking marathons in 2 days. Still light out. The
Yeah.
days are getting longer. I know. I kind of feel like we missed winter here. I know those of you who are in snowy, cold places are a little bit like, can you stop that? But
I think our time's coming up soon.
it's either going to, every once in a while in January and February will be when we get winter.
Remember
or
that
we'll
one
just-
year it snowed on my birthday in March?
Yeah, that's true too. Thank you, Shirley. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you, Justine. I'm going to have a very restful evening.
Yep.
And Debbie, you guys, so just remember, everything is going to be good.
Yep.
Be patient with yourself. Be as patient with other people as you can. Do something for self-care. And I don't mean go get a pedicure. sometimes just taking a shower. And I know that
Just
sounds...
letting that hot water hit you.
And just having that time where no one's in the room with you but you. Or take a walk. Or make your favorite potato or starch and eat that. And actually, I would encourage you guys today, if you can, either put something in the slow cooker tonight for tomorrow's lunch or dinner. Or, you know, cook up a bunch of sweet potatoes or a double batch of rice so you have things in there. And this week when you go back out into the world, you have a little cushion.
Yep.
And that will make things much, much easier. Oh, Mary Beth, it was so glad you could hang out with us. Thanks, Brian. Oh, I love this, Davika. Love yourself more. Spread your love and light into the world. And that's great. Oh, thank you, Marlene. That was very, very kind of you. And Sheila said, did I miss the greens and cornbread recipe? Nope, we just made some greens. It wasn't a real recipe. I tweaked one on the back of the package. For the greens, I really just used some garlic, some apple cider vinegar, some smoked paprika, liquid smoke, granulated garlic, onion powder, nutritional yeast, and smoked hickory balsamic.
Topped with
Texas Pete from
Texas
North
Pete.
Carolina. Texas Pete's the equivalent of Louisiana hot sauce. A hot sauce that's not too spicy and a little more vinegary. Okay, let's see. Oh, there's still more comments. Winter always happens here after Christmas. Sometimes it doesn't happen till February. Extra cuddle with nighttime with my cats is self-care, and I bet they love
Exactly.
it too. The bar is low. The bar is so low. You can just have rice or cooked potatoes, cuddle with your cat, take a shower, go to bed extra early, which is one thing I might be. I love one of my favorite things to do in the winter.
She'll go to bed as soon as it gets dark.
Yeah, well, for a while, remember that there's a moth or something in here, or a bee. No, it's a beetle.
What?
How is there a beetle flying around our? Okay.
I saw something over here on this plant. I wonder if he came in with the plant.
We did bring in some plants, but there is a beetle that's flying around the house like it's summertime.
It's like Wild Kingdom over here.
Everybody. I feel like I should dress up like Snow White.
Right?
But they need to be doing the laundry and stuff.
Right? They need to
The
earn their
chipmunk
keep.
can come back if the chipmunk can run the dishwasher. All right, you guys. Big hugs. We will talk to you soon. I will send an email. Look in the description below. I talk about some cool things. Oh, what?
Lizard greetings. Do you remember where you bought the bowls you are using right now? IKEA.
Yes.
These are my favorite bowls, and they come from IKEA, and they're not very expensive at all.
No, they're not very expensive at all. And you can often get these big pasta bowls at Home Goods and TJ Maxx. We usually get seasonal ones. So I have a Hello Kitty Halloween one, and we have
Mickey Mouse
Mickey
ones.
Mouse Halloween ones. We did have Peanuts Halloween ones, but they
cracked.
they
They
didn't.
got chipped on the edges real easy.
So, but these were really inexpensive. IKEA is everywhere. All right, you guys, go out, do something super nice for yourself, prep for the week just a little bit, go to bed a little bit early, drink extra water.
And
Not
for
wait
those of
before
you,
you go to bed.
those of you going back to work tomorrow, just take a deep breath and just know that go in with a positive attitude that everything is going to be just fine.
Exactly. And the same thing for going forward and go, it's okay if mistakes happen. It's okay if tomorrow isn't perfect. And it's just, that's life. And the more we can allow for life to be life, the more life will allow us to be us.
Yes.
Boy, that was
very big.
I need to go take a nap or
Yeah.
a walk or something.
Her words
Okay.
are starting to get big. It's
Blah,
time to
blah,
go.
blah. Okay, let's wait.